Suing his former friend, 25-year-old waiter Jeffrey Reyes, for an unpaid loan to bail him out of jail.
According to your complaint, the defendant owes you for bailing him out of jail.
Yes.
Tell me exactly how that happened, sir.
We went out on Thursday night to karaoke. And
what was the date?
May 16th. And one of my friends met me at the bar, and he wanted to leave. I asked Jeffrey, do you want to go? He says, no, I want to stay.
Your Honor, he left me there.
Just 1 second. I'll get to you. Go ahead. Get to you. Go ahead.
And I said, do you want to come? He said, no, I'm going to stay here. I want to sing. So I said, okay, I'll do you a favor. I gave him my ATM card. I gave him $20 plus my car keys. And I said, I'll talk to you later.
ATM card for what?
To drink. He didn't have no money. Mm-hmm. And then the next day he calls me and said he's in jail, to bail him out of jail.
That's not true, Your Honor.
I said,
Mr. Reyes, could you wait until I look at you and ask you questions, please? Now look at me. Could you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. And what did he say to you?
He said, Will, can you please come and get me out of jail? Do you have the money to get me out of jail? And I did not have the money to get him out of jail. I had to go running around town, borrow money to get him out, because he kept on calling me every 15 minutes that my cell phone died and his cell phone died. There's 3 cell phones in the car, and they all died because he was calling us so much.
What do you mean 3 cell phones in the car?
We had 3 cell phones in the car. There's 3 people trying to get him out of jail. The only one that got him out of jail was me.
Well, who else was in the car?
Another friend of his roommates. I don't know his name.
So you're driving around with 2 other friends in the car?
No one had money to get him out.
Just answer my question, sir. You're driving around with 2 other friends.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do this my way.
Okay.
Do you understand? Because my way, I'm going to get the truth.
Okay.
Where were you going?
We getting money to bail him out of jail.
And when you bailed him out, what did he say to you?
He said to me, thanks. And I said, you need to pay me back.
And what did he say?
He said, yes, he'll pay me back. And I stressed it to him. I need this money back.
All right, Mr. Reyes, now I'm going to hear your version of the events, sir. What were you arrested for?
Driving with a suspended license.
So I gather you took the car keys and went home.
I stayed in the bar till 2 o'clock in the morning till they had last call. They did not come back. He had left his keys on there. He did not tell me he was going. They both just left. So how am I supposed to get home? I took the keys and I drove home. When I went home, there was a cop already there. They had my name on a piece of paper like someone had called the cops on me already. So I went there. He asked to see my driver's license. I showed him my driver's license, and he took me to jail.
Then you called him.
Yes, I called him.
And what did you say when you called him?
I said, well, what happened yesterday? He goes, oh, I left you the car. He said, I didn't come back yesterday. He said, why, where are you? I said, I'm in jail. He goes, oh, don't worry, I'll get you out. He said, don't worry about it. Trust me, I'll get you out. I don't have the money to pay him back. I didn't ask him to bail me out. If he bailed me out, it's because he felt sorry for leaving me with the car. He knew I couldn't drive with a suspended license. I didn't want to drive.
Why was your license suspended?
Not paying a ticket. Oh. And I got pulled over before, and he gave me a ticket for driving with the suspended license. And he said, next time you will go to jail. So I didn't want to drive.
Where do you live?
I live in Orlando.
And is that where the karaoke bar was?
Yes.
Now, Orlando, Florida is a major metropolis. I've been to Orlando, Florida. Do you know what they have in Orlando, Florida?
Disney World? I don't know.
Do you know what else they have in Orlando? Taxi cabs.
Your Honor, I had no money.
Your Honor, I left him with money.
Just a second.
I left him set.
Just a second.
All right.
Yeah, by the time the bar was closed, I was broke.
Mr. Reyes, that's what you call lack of planning, sir. Because if you were waiting for him and he didn't come back and he left after 20 minutes, something should have gone on in your head that said to you, maybe I am stranded here, so I better take the $20 that he gave me and put a couple of dollars away so that you could call a taxi cab to take you home, since you didn't have a driver's license.
I understand what you're saying, Your Honor, but he left me an ATM card. Taxi cabs do not take ATM cards.
And $20.
He had an open tab on the bar. When it closed, it was closed with $20 that I had spent drinking.
What happened as a result of that case, Mr. Reyes?
They gave me day served.
And a fine?
Yes.
How much was the fine?
The fine was $500.
Did you pay the $500?
Yeah, took it out of his bail.
Out of my bond.
They took it out of his bail.
Yeah.
Oh. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $560. Mr. Reyes, you have to take responsibility for what you do, sir. You had a lot of choices. You picked all the wrong ones. That's all.
Okay.
Now, this is case number 264 on the calendar in the matter of Cochran versus Marsh. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Mr. Cochran, according to your complaint, you and the defendant had dated for a period of time. You became ill and were hospitalized for a period of 2 weeks.
Yes. Yeah.
When was that, sir?
August 30th.
It is your claim, sir, that Miss Marsh, during the time you were hospitalized, took your bank card and withdrew some $1,700 from your bank card without your permission.
Yes, Your Honor.
When you started to complain to her about taking the money after you were released from the hospital, you then claimed she filed false stalking charges against you. You were arrested. You were forced to wear a bracelet, an ankle bracelet monitor, which you had to pay for.
Yes, Your Honor.
And in total, you are suing her for some $3,000 because you say that these charges were false.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So let's start with the hospitalization. What were you hospitalized for, Mr. Cochran?
My doctor said I was under a lot of stress from working a lot. I took a vacation to get away, but it didn't do no good.
So it was a psychiatric hospitalization.
It was behavioral medicine.
Were you self-admitted or did someone admit you?
They took me by ambulance
From where?
from McDonald's, where the defendant works.
What happened? Did anything happen in
I
McDonald's?
felt kind of hot and felt like I was going to faint, and they said I fainted in front of the counter.
But there wasn't a scene or anything there.
No.
Now, how did you get custody of his bank card?
When Paul was admitted to the hospital, he had bills that needed to be paid. His father brought the bills to him at the hospital. He told me to come up. He needed me to take care of his finances. Paul, myself, and the psych tech had to go to security for Paul to release the bank card, the bank number, and details as to what I was supposed to do for him. Yes, Your Honor, I did withdraw the money, which I have proof of, to pay his bills. I have the bills that I paid for Mr. Cochran.
Can I see them, please?
These are the withdrawals. These are most of the bills that I could gather up. That's about like $900 and some worth. And I also have the bill where he said he loaned me $300, that I deposit $300 into its account.
Are you saying you paid $300 of your own bills out of his money?
Yes, I did.
You have a letter indicating that it was with his permission that you paid $300 worth of your bills?
No, I don't have a letter.
Then you can't pay $300 of your bills using his money.
Okay.
Miss Marsh, because if Paul is there for a psychiatric hospitalization,
okay,
you don't do anything with regard to your problems.
Mm-hmm.
You only deal with his problems if you're being a friend.
I did that, and I replaced the $300.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is what I was doing.
Okay.
There's it right here.
When did you replace the $300?
On 9/5/01.
What did he buy on his Zales account? A jewelry store.
He had bought a ring for me. He had bought like a necklace for me.
Did you buy gifts for her?
Yes, Your Honor, but I paid cash for him before we went on vacation to Orlando. There was only one bill that was paid while I was in the hospital, and that was $209.
Capital One bank credit card, $30, $83. Sprint cell phone.
That was her cell phone, Your Honor.
How do I know these are his bills?
Well, because we both had buddy phone bills. I have those.
You paid Sprint $125, and then you have another money order receipt that you paid Sprint $83.15.
Mm-hmm. For the 2 cell phones.
Well, why were you paying your bill from his account?
Because that's what he told me to do, Your Honor. He said...
No.
Because the phones were in his name.
No. But he's not using them. You had one phone. Who's doctor? A dentist.
I had to have a tooth extracted, and $70, yeah.
So why are you giving me this bill as a bill that you paid for him?
That was one that shouldn't have been in there, but okay.
So I got a Sprint bill that shouldn't have been in there. I got a jewelry store bill.
That's part of the loan, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Can I see how much money was taken out of your account?
It was showing there what was deposited and what was withdrawn the same day, the $300.
All right, now, Miss Marsh, when he got out of the hospital, what happened?
Paul wanted to continue dating, and I told him, I said, Paul, too much is going on. I just don't think it's going to work out between the two of us. And that's when Mr. Cochran started stalking, and...
He didn't say anything to you about the money that was taken out of his account?
No, ma'am. He never said anything about the money. This issue came up after the breakup.
Your Honor?
Yes.
The day I got home, I received a bank statement showing the withdrawals, and I called her and asked her why she withdrew the money from my account without my consent.
And what did she say?
And she hung up on me.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Have they advised you to be under psychiatric care?
No, Your Honor.
Have they advised you to be on medication?
No.
I'm not so sure about that, Mr. Cochran.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Paul Cochran Jr. says ex-girlfriend Odella Marsh stole money from his bank account while he was in the hospital. Paul says when he was released, Odella had him falsely arrested for stalking.
Now, I want to hear about this bracelet. Why did you have to wear a bracelet, sir?
I went to the police station on the case on the bank account.
Okay.
I was arrested in the police department on a warrant by the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department in our town to say that I was stalking her, intimidating her, and invasion of privacy.
Were you doing that?
No, ma'am, I was not.
How was he doing that, Miss Marsh?
Mr. Cochran was phoning my house. He was creating problems on my job to where they fired him out from off of my job. And he came up to the job one day, just radical. He had, that day he had the gun with him. And I left, and I have witness, I went to the police department, and I just was filing.
Do you have the papers from the criminal court which ordered you to wear the monitoring bracelet?
Yes, I do.
And the certificate of
I have
disposition?
everything.
I have
I'd like to see the papers, please.
Okay,
I
here's
got the arrest warrant and everything.
Here's everything contrary. Okay?
His, hers.
Thank you. What happened when you appeared in court on July 15th, 2002?
When I appeared in court on that day, his case was dismissed because the last incident where I had to use the panic button, of which I had a device that I carried in my car every day, which was ordered by the court, and also had a panic button that I was to keep on my persons at all times. Mr. Cochran was out by the apartment building, and the machine didn't go off. That stunned me because it's supposed to pick him up.
Your Honor?
Yes, go ahead.
On July, they said that there was several false police reports on the incident, so the prosecutor and the judge dismissed it because of false police reports. But the prosecutor checked in on it, which the monitor will pick up if I come in with 500 feet. On the day that she hit the panic button, I was not in the area. Somebody else was driving my car at the time to see if there was a false police report being made. That's why the case was dismissed. There was an undercover police officer driving the car.
Your Honor, I have a witness that knows how Paul reacted during this time.
May I speak, ma'am?
Sure. Who are you?
I'm a coworker of hers.
Go ahead.
I was the one who called 911 when he had the seizure in the lobby. I was the one who barred him permanently from our store because he had come in to talk to her after he had gotten out of the hospital.
What happened when he would come into the store?
He would try to talk to Odella, and she did not want to speak to him, and she had told him that before. And I simply said, things are not going well. Please leave her alone. If you cannot behave like a gentleman, you can no longer come in here.
Did he not behave like a gentleman when he came in?
He was loud, and he stayed for hours, would not allow her to do her job.
Yes.
Your Honor, I have friends that went there, older guys. I've been going to that place ever since the day it opened up, and I never, ever harassed or anything. I just...
No. Listen to me, sir.
Yeah.
You were asked not to go back.
I didn't go back after the day I left the hospital.
Yes, he
I
did.
never returned.
Yes, he did. I asked him not to come back, and a week later he came back again, and Odella was there, and he wanted to talk to her, and she did not want to speak to him, and that is when I permanently barred him from the store.
So he came back one other time.
He came back another time after that.
When was that?
A week to 2 weeks after that. The first thing I did was call Odella, and I said, he does not look right. He had the same look he had the morning that he passed out and had the seizure on my floor. Please be careful.
Did you ever see him with a gun?
No, I did not. But I am the one who encouraged her to get the restraining order, and I am the one who had her make copies of the receipts.
The copies of the receipts are...
Apparently they're not doing any good, but...
They're not doing any good because they're all not his bills. You're going to get the money back that was taken from your ATM because she can't establish to my satisfaction that she used that money for your benefit.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand?
Yes.
You are not going to get back the money for having been forced to wear a bracelet because I believe this lady when she tells me that you were in her place of business when you were told that it's not a good idea for you to be there. And my sense is that you were frustrated. I don't know why, either because you still cared for the lady or because you were angry over the money or whatever reason, but that you didn't do the right thing, and she was afraid because you weren't exactly right. Are you on medication now?
No, Your Honor.
You're not?
No.
Are you under any psychiatric care right now?
No, Your Honor.
Have they advised you to be under psychiatric care?
No, Your Honor.
Have they advised you to be on medication?
No.
I'm not so sure about that, Mr. Cochran. In any event, I'm going to get back the money from your ATM card, but not for the electronic bracelet, because that was probably necessary. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,700. That's all. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She was filing false police reports and trying to intimidate me, making me look bad and her look good.
He became just a maniac.
I hope people that see this realize what women can do to you. You know, they can clean you out.
Hopefully this is over. Paul will move on with his life and just leave me alone.
$5. That's all.
Yeah, this is case number 309 on the calendar in the matter of Rossi versus Holden Hills. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have seats.
Mr. and Mrs. Rossi, you recently got married.
Yes, ma'am.
And the defendants catered your wedding.
Yes, ma'am.
You were not real happy with the wedding.
Very upset.
And you want half your money back, which
Yes,
is
ma'am.
$3,000. When was the wedding?
August 10th, 2002.
And how many people did you have at the wedding?
120, ma'am.
Did they have a catering hall?
Actually, it's a country club / reception hall catering company.
And they provided the food?
Yes, ma'am.
They say that everything just went along swimmingly well except for some little bananas or something that weren't done quite right. So I have a few questions before we get into what you weren't happy with.
Okay.
Having done a few weddings myself, I know that you usually go for a tasting of the food and to pick the menu. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you go for the tasting?
Approximately 1 or 2 months before the actual wedding day.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So let's say you went there sometime in either June or July and you picked the menu.
Yes, ma'am.
And you had dinner.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you meet the chef?
Yes, ma'am.
On August 10th of 2002, did you have the same chef?
Yes, we did.
Same chef?
Yes, but she was fired that night.
We let her go that night, and we terminated her shortly thereafter.
Why?
Well, her attitude was, can't do anything about it now type of attitude, instead of, being apologetic. And
Can't do anything about what?
the fact that the plantains were not properly prepared.
Let's start. So you say there was nothing wrong at the wedding except the plantains were not properly prepared. Is that right, sir?
That was Mr. Rossi's main complaint that
I'm
night.
not talking about his main complaint. I'm talking about you do weddings. What was wrong with the food?
The only thing that was wrong with the food, Your Honor, was the plantains were not ripe and therefore were not prepared properly.
Let me hear.
That's not true.
Let's start with the first complaint.
Well, when we arrived at the reception hall and had our photographs taken, shortly thereafter, probably about 7 o'clock, we entered into the hall. There was no appetizers in the bridal room, as we had requested. There didn't seem to be any coordination.
That was in the bridal room, not,
Right.
not where the reception was being held.
Right.
So you didn't have an hors d'oeuvre to eat when you got there? You
Right.
personally?
Right.
Let's move on.
Okay. We walked into the reception hall after we were introduced, and all the salads were supposed to be in front of our guests and in front of our tables waiting for us.
Okay, so when you come into Michael and Zyda Rossi, come in, and everybody is standing around their tables, and the salads are supposed to be in place at that
Right.
time, and they were not there.
Right.
Why
That's
not?
correct. The salads were not the first course, Your Honor. The first course, the appetizer course, was a pasta course. So the pasta would have been served before the salads as an appetizer.
Well, was pasta served?
The pasta was served before the salads, ma'am. And the salads were supposed to be on the table waiting for our guests, and then the pasta was supposed to be served after the salads.
Do you have a copy of the menu?
I have a copy of the contract, and it has everything that is on the menu. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, but does it say what's to be served first, the pasta or the salad?
It says that it is cheese and the fruit displays, and then it says ziti and marinara, and then the chicken and the plantains afterwards. It doesn't say that the salad should be served before.
Okay,
no.
so what's your next complaint?
My next complaint is after they served the ziti, then they served the salads, and then we had to wait an hour before they actually served the dinner. So what we had to do is we had to ask the DJ to move along with the garter toss and the flower toss and the cake cutting. And we had to do this all before the dinner. The dinner wasn't served until 9:20 p.m. And the dinner was supposed to be served in between 7:30 and 8 o'clock, ma'am. We were married at 5 o'clock. And we had to go around and apologize to everybody for not
between
the food.
7:30 and 8 o'clock. What happened? What happened?
What happened is the bridal party was running late that day, and when we say 7:30 to 8 o'clock, it's an estimated time. 99% of the time it runs late.
Why did it run an hour and a half late, is my question. Were you having trouble with the chef?
I think Mr. Rossi's referring to the entree being served
Yeah,
at 9:20.
he's talking about the entree.
I'm not sure if it was 9:20 or on, it might have been closer to 9. But if the party runs late, we still have to go through all the steps of serving the meal correctly, which means serving the appetizer,
So you weren't having
clearing
any
the
problem.
plates.
You weren't having any problem with the
No,
chef. Okay,
no.
let's go next.
Ma'am, after he served...
Let's go next. The meal comes. Is anything wrong with the meal?
Oh, yeah. It was disgusting. It was nasty.
I couldn't even make out what the plantains were. They were like rotten. They were hard.
It was disgusting.
Okay, what was served
It was supposed
with...
to be an ethnic meal.
Okay, what are you having as a main dish?
We're having Spanish rice, boneless chicken with plantains on the side.
Okay, so that was the side dish.
Right.
A side dish. That was the main problem, the plantains.
Well, the rice was nothing compared to what we had the day of our taste testing.
It was
The chicken was either overcooked or undercooked, and the plantains, half the people couldn't even make out what they were.
Well, he acknowledges that they were pretty nasty.
The rice was mushy. It was nothing what we had at the taste testing.
Okay, usually isn't.
It was nothing in comparison.
Usually isn't.
Okay.
But what did you do for them because the plantain, their side dish, was bad?
Well, as the night went on, Mr. Rossi had been drinking quite a bit. He came in drinking out of the limousine and down the aisle when they were introduced. And it was hard dealing with him. He was very upset with reason. We take full responsibility for the plantains, and we did try to make restitution. Towards the end of the evening, we told him we'd give him like $300 for the plantains. He didn't want to hear about it. Threw them at my feet in my office, where Linda Rossi had to take him out of the office. At the end of the night, I told him to go on his honeymoon, come back, and we'll discuss it when he comes back. And he came back with, Your Honor, this grocery list of 3 pages of what we think are nonsense nitpicking items.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I take the plantain out of the napkin. I said, look at what you're serving my guests. This was totally embarrassing. I threw it on the floor.
Get over it. There are worse things that happen globally than bad bananas.
And later today,
she said I could have a couple friends over.
Couple, like Noah's Ark, 2 by 2, couples, 2. So how many people did you have at this July 4th party?
About 20, ma'am.
20 is more than a couple.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Michael and Zaida Rossi say wedding banquet managers Roy and Rita Vermeesh owe for a refund of their wedding reception. The Rossis say the food was inedible.
Go ahead, Mr. Rossi, I'll hear you.
Okay, I had a couple of beers. I was not drunk.
Okay.
When the dinner was served at 9:20 p.m., I took one of the plantains and I put them in the napkin. I went out to the bar area and I was looking to speak to Roy. And that's where I encountered this woman where she was the head waitress, and I asked to speak to Roy. She wouldn't let me speak to him. He was very busy. Finally, he comes around the corner, and I take him into the office. I said, Roy, can I speak to you? He said, sure. I take him in the office. I said, Roy, look what time it is. It's 9:20. I got married at 5:30, and I take the plantain out of the napkin. I said, look at what you're serving my guests. I was so upset. This was our wedding day. This was totally embarrassing. I threw it on the floor. I was upset. I admit I threw it on the floor. And I told him, this is embarrassment, and I expect a refund or I will take you to court.
Fine. How much of a refund did you want?
Well, we set up an appointment, and I asked him for $3,000.
Well, $3,000 is outrageous. That's half.
Ma'am, we had golfers come in and eat.
Did you listen to me? $3,000, that's half.
It was a real embarrassment, ma'am.
Well, you get over it.
The waitresses were rude.
Excuse me,
Half
Your
of them
Honor.
wouldn't serve water.
I want to tell you something. I'm not minimizing the fact that this was not the wedding that you planned on, that you had nasty waitresses, that the rice wasn't good, that the chicken wasn't terrific, that the meal was served 45 minutes to an hour late. I'm not minimizing any of that. What that would do is to say to somebody, never use this catering hall again because we were totally dissatisfied. But if there was one thing, and it's clear from what Mr. Rossi says, the one thing that really irritated him The one thing that he did was he brought this plantain in a napkin and threw it on the floor because that was what was awful. Look what you're serving my guests. There should be some restitution for that, not half the cost of your wedding. Put your hand down. Are you her mother?
Yes, I am.
All right. Well, tell you, if you're her mother, then what you do is you say to yourself, you're going to teach your daughter a little bit of what's important and what's not. You don't get yourself totally exercised over something. You had a wedding, you got married, it's supposed to be a nice day. If the little bananas weren't right, you get over it. It's not the worst thing in the world. There are worse things that happen globally than bad bananas. And you don't expect it to be...
But you pay for a service.
It's not the whole thing.
Absolutely, absolutely right.
You expect to
and there
get
are
it.
certain things that are objective and there are certain things that are subjective. Attitudes of waitresses is not something that I could put on a barometer. Whether golfers came into the country club and ate your appetizers, something that you should consider before you book a country club where they have golfing people coming inside.
Well, they had assured us that golfers were be off there by 6 p.m.
Listen to me. You're not following what I'm saying to you. If you're dissatisfied with the service, you don't recommend them again. You fed 120 people. 120 people came, they danced. Put your hand down, Mr. Rossi. That's what your main concern was. Your main gripe was one of the side dishes, and it's true that there were only 2 side dishes, turned out to be really lousy. You had your salad, you had your pasta, you had your cake, you had chicken, you had drinks. Let's see what else you had. You had cheese and fruit display. I assume that was there. You had hors d'oeuvres. You had beef teriyaki, scalloped bacon meatballs. Since I heard nothing about that, I assumed that they were there.
I would like to compliment.
You had something with grated cheese. You had chicken, rice, and plantains. Now, the plantains were lousy. They acknowledged that. You had wedding cake and ice cream, which I assume was served.
No, they did not even serve us. They didn't even offer me and my wife a piece of the wedding cake, ma'am.
Oh, get over it.
Can I say
Judgment for the
something?
plaintiff, listen to me. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500. The whole wedding was $6,000, $500. As far as I'm concerned, covers the bad plantains. Goodbye. Be happy.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She didn't want me to say anything about a dog coming in.
He came in, probably just walked into the place. Within seconds, he was out the door.
About coffee not being served, about water not being served.
I was probably rude, but I thought he was a drunk from downstairs.
About golfers eating your food? I mean, come on.
I think they should be happy and get on with their lives.
Yeah, this is case number 331 on the calendar in the matter of Walsh-Webb versus Mack. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have seats, please.
Mr. Walsh, for some reason which you will explain to me, you were visiting the defendant. You're a neighbor of hers?
Yes.
And you had with you a backpack.
Yes.
It's your claim that you left the backpack in her house and she refuses to give it back to you.
Yes.
And within that backpack, among other things, were your girlfriend's jewelry, rings and diamonds and valuables that you alleged that you were taking to be cleaned?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
So you're suing her for $2,000, the return or value of the property. The defendant says she didn't know what devil you're talking about, that you came into her apartment to use her phone, you didn't leave anything there, and she's counterclaiming because she said you and your girlfriend have been going all over town calling her a thief, among other things. How long have you been her neighbor, Mr. Walsh?
For 7 months.
Okay, and how long have you been living there, Miss Mack?
Since '98.
Is this an apartment building?
Yes.
Now, on what date do you claim you were visiting Miss Mack?
This was like the 22nd. Well, prior to this incident, I visited her several times on different occasions.
Shh. What were you visiting her for?
We were just hanging out, talking, having drinks.
You were friends?
Yes.
Did you become friends before or after you moved in?
After.
You didn't know her before?
No.
So you've known her for about 7 months?
As a matter of fact, I've been seeing her for about 7 months. I've only known her for about, 2.5 months.
What do you mean you've been seeing her?
Seeing her as a neighbor, speaking to her as a neighbor.
Okay, but it's been 2.5 months that you've been going there occasionally and hanging out?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead. Talk to me.
On the 22nd, I was over her house. This was a Sunday.
22nd of?
September.
Go ahead.
It was a Sunday. I didn't know at the time that I had a warrant out for my arrest, which when I left her house, I got picked up on that warrant.
For what?
It was just something personal with me and my family. Something me and my family is going through.
Like what?
A domestic violence.
Okay. So you were arrested on the 22nd of September,
yes,
after you left her house?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, I left my things there.
This is the day that you allege that you left this backpack there?
My backpack and my CD bag as well, yes.
Let's go step by step. You went in to visit.
Yes.
How long did you stay?
I was there for several hours.
What were you doing?
We were just hanging out talking.
And then it was time for you to leave?
No, it wasn't time for me to leave. I told her I'd be back. I stepped out for a minute.
What did you step out for?
To go home.
To go home for what?
To go home and see my family, just to go home. I had seen my daughter and I was worried about her and I went home. But in the process of me going home.
Just a second.
Yes.
How old was your daughter?
17 months.
When you left your home, or where was your daughter?
I never left home. I was always hanging out with her until I left. That's when I got arrested.
What do you mean you went to see about your daughter?
I went to go check on my daughter.
Who was with her?
Her mother.
The same mother that was having you arrested for domestic violence?
That one.
Raise your hand if that person is in the room today.
Right here. But I don't.
Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going, sir.
Basically, I went
Basically,
to jail.
I'm not getting the whole story, and I want to tell you something. When I don't get the whole story, that is not a good thing for you. So let's go. You his wife?
No.
His girlfriend, the mother of his 17-month-old?
Yes.
You were having him arrested for domestic violence, is that right?
Yes.
He's next door hanging out with the neighbor, according to him, and in his possession is a backpack containing all your jewelry. Is that right?
Yes.
That you were taking to have cleaned.
Yes.
You understand what I mean when I'm not getting the whole story? Stupid isn't written here, sir.
I had already had.
Stupid is not written here.
Oh, God.
Keep going. I love it as we make it up as we go along. So you got the jewelry that's in the backpack that you're taking to have clean that belongs to your girlfriend who was in the process of calling the police to have you arrested. Keep going. Keep going. So you go and you check up on your 17-month-old daughter, and what happened? You got arrested.
I got arrested.
Next.
I called Juanita from jail and told her that I was arrested to give my things to my mother because I knew she wouldn't give them to her.
You knew she wouldn't give them to her.
I knew she wouldn't give them to my girlfriend.
Why not?
Because she told me she wouldn't.
What do you mean she told you she wouldn't?
She told me, I'm not giving nothing to her. I'll give it to your mother or your son or somebody else.
Why is that?
Because she didn't want to give it to her.
Why?
Judge, I don't know.
Because she was afraid I was going to find out what was going on between them two.
Oh.
Anyway.
Shh.
So my mom called her.
What were you doing with her jewelry?
Like I said, I was taking to get it clean. I had it for a couple of days in my backpack, though. Okay. All right.
Get it.
It was, Judge.
Go ahead.
My mom called her, talked to her. My mom told me, yeah, she said she would be willing to meet me to give me your backpack. And so when my mom did finally get back with her, she started saying she didn't know what she was talking about. I'd never been to her house before, and all this started coming up.
So, keep going.
So I went and did a small claims because, a lot of my personal things was in my backpack, which I'm taking a major loss on.
What were you doing in her house?
Like I said, we've been hanging out.
You've been hanging out. Have you been intimate with her?
No.
Well, she seems to think you've been intimate.
Well, of course she's going to think that.
Of course she's going to think that. You were just hanging out. Couldn't you find someplace else to hang out? Huh?
We had just moved out there. I don't know anyone.
They were having domestic violence problems, entertaining our neighbors in the community. On the 26th, me and Miss Webb had a verbal altercation. It was me, my daughter was out there, and this lady sitting here, and several other little kids.
What was the fight about?
Because he said that he gave me his backpack. One day, I say around mid-September, he did ask me if he could use my phone because he was locked out of their house. And I had seen him coming and going. I brought my phone out to the front porch and let him use the phone. He's never been inside my house, ma'am. The night before, when we had the altercation, me and her, the next morning, I get up to go to work. I work 2 jobs. My tires were slashed. Both our tires were slashed, both mine and Miss Webb's tires were slashed. And I have the police report right here. This is a log of my caller ID log from my phone, all the numerous of calls that I've been receiving from them, from her phone number, from the phone booth, and how many times the housing authority told me that if he can prove that I have their backpack, that he would evict me. So I'm worried about losing my housing because of a lie that he told this girl. And I had to have my phone number changed within 3 days of each other because of the calls from them.
Okay, now, Miss Webb, how long have you been with him?
5 years.
In the 5 years that you've been with him, how many times has he been in jail?
Twice.
When?
Ooh. A year ago
For how long?
For a year.
For what?
Possession.
Of what?
Of controlled substance, marijuana.
I'll leave it with possession of controlled substance. Okay? That I believe.
Okay.
When else was he in jail?
And domestic violence.
What does he do for a living?
At the time, he's not working.
When was the last time he had a full-time job, 9 to 5?
A month ago.
And how long did he have that job for?
About 2 weeks.
When was the last time he held a job for more than 3 months? 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Right before he went to jail a year ago.
So how does he support himself? Want to tell me that?
He gets a check.
He gets a check from what?
From the state.
What's the nature of his disability?
That I don't know. Mental, I don't know. You have to ask him that, or he gets the check.
Yo, why do you get a check?
For mental.
For what?
Just have problems, Your Honor. But I would like to say something.
Yeah.
I do have a surprise witness that will let you know.
I'm here.
That
I'm
will
ready.
let you know.
I'm ready.
That will let you know that we've been knowing each other for some time.
Fine. Bring in the witness.
Thank you.
The person's name?
My mom, Joan Walsh.
She had a conversation with her on the phone, and at the time they had a conversation, she said she will return her items. And at the...
Bring her in.
Walsh?
Your Honor.
Just a minute.
Oh, okay.
All right, Miss Seth.
Miss Walsh, how long do you know the defendant, Miss Mack?
I don't.
How many times have you met her?
Never.
Never seen her in person except for today?
Never.
Did you ever speak to her on the phone?
Yes, I did.
Who called who?
She called me on the 18th of September and on the 22nd of September.
Okay, and what did she say to you on the 18th of September?
That she was a friend of my son's. She asked me, was he there? I asked her who was calling, because I'm the mother of 6 adult children. I don't answer any questions. And I asked who was calling. Oh, I'm a friend. I'm the one that he's been over my house. And at that time, she told me her name was Regina. And then the following Sunday when she called me, she said Regina again at first. But
Yes.
I let her know that I was speaking with my son on the other line. And she said, well, I just finished talking to him, and he wants me to give you his belongings. I said, what are the belongings? She told me 2 bags. And I said, okay. I said, well, can you call me back because I'm speaking with my son, and I don't know how long he can remain on the phone. And I spoke with him about 20 minutes. And when I hung up, no one else had called me, and I started 69 her back. And I let her know how I had called her. And I asked her when could we meet so I can get my son's belongings. And she told me she would call me back. And when I talked back with her, she told me that she didn't know nothing about it. That she didn't know him or anything. Was her words. Then a couple of days later, I had gotten her number, and I called her on the 25th. And I asked her...
Where did you get her number from?
From my son.
Well, I thought you said you star 69 the number.
That Sunday.
I understand that.
Yeah, that Sunday. But
Just a second, but I understand that. But that was a person who identified themselves as a person by the name of Regina.
I know, but when I clicked back over from my son...
Yes.
He told me who she was, and then I told her.
He told you, but she said, or the person who called you said their name was Regina.
I know.
Twice. Both times that the person called. Her name's not Regina.
I know, but what I'm saying is when I clicked back over to let my son know that she was on the other line, this is when he said, not Regina, Mom. He said, Juanita. And when I clicked back over, and she just said yes. And a couple of days later, she said, oh, Regina's my friend down the road or something, you know.
Did you speak to her on the phone?
No, ma'am. Never.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He told your story. I don't believe that you're in the process of having him arrested for domestic violence and he's schlepping your jewelry to a jeweler to have it cleaned. That's the first lie. Everything else after that is downhill.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Horace Walsh is accusing neighbor Juanita Mack of stealing a backpack that contained his girlfriend's jewelry. Horace says he was taking the jewelry to get cleaned.
Okay, I'll take a look at it.
This is where she starts 69 at, the highlights when she called her.
You're talking about the September 22nd call where they don't have a full number, just a 521?
Yes.
Am I correct?
That's when I starred her back. They put the little stars on there.
So they put the little stars there so that you can't tell what the number is. Is that right?
No, so I can't call her. Yes.
That's all I want to know. Am I correct? You cannot tell, or am I reading this right? You cannot tell what number she starts 69. Is that right?
Can't tell the last 4 digits.
And then on the 25th of September,
yes,
your son gave you her number. Is that right?
No, he gave it to me on the 24th, and I called
Or
her
the
on
24th?
Yes.
Right. Thank you very much. You can have a seat.
Thank you.
Then also, can I say something?
Sure.
I have a card from the case management at the housing where we live, where he was calling the housing, and they informed me where he was and where my stuff was, because they said they have seen him come in and out her house.
You can't tell me what they said.
Well, she just...
You can't tell me what they said. That's hearsay. Okay. Listen to me. I don't believe his story that he had your jewelry in a backpack because he was taking it to have it cleaned. That's the first lie. Everything else after that is downhill. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Because he was taking it to be cleaned.
I don't believe it. I don't believe that you're in the process of having him arrested for domestic violence and he's schlepping your jewelry to a jeweler to have it cleaned.
But this happened some weeks ago.
What I'm telling you is I don't believe that part of his story. And he said it to me with the same straight face as he's telling me the rest of it. I don't know whether she has your property or not. How am I supposed to tell? How am I supposed to tell? His mother never saw this person. His mother never saw her. Maybe he went to somebody else's house whose name is Regina, who lives 3 doors away. How do I know that?
And then also...
And she doesn't know that either because she never met her.
But then also when we was arguing, her daughter was yelling, "That's why he was over here. You should keep your man on a leash." And...
So? He told your story. He told your story. You better stop talking about her. That's not accomplishing anything. Are you living in the same place?
Yes.
Well, you know, you want to make your lives miserable or you want to make your lives reasonable?
I don't even talk to her. She the one who goes out telling the neighbors what we're going through. The neighbors didn't know nothing about it until she's outside performing in front of the neighbors.
Let me ask you this question. What are you going through with him?
Nothing. With us.
With us. No, she's going around telling the neighbors
about
our situation, our case, what we're going through. We going to court and all that.
Going to court for what?
What we're here for.
What we're here
you mean this case?
Yeah.
So you don't tell anybody that she's a thief?
We haven't said anything
I haven't
about
said
her.
anything to
Fine.
anybody about it.
Did you advise the housing authority that she had in fact stolen your property?
Well, the housing authority contacted me and told me where my belongings was. I didn't know nothing about it because when he left my house, that's when the police picked him up. And then that's when the housing authorities called me and told me he's been at Juanita's Mac house because that's where he's been calling from.
How do they know? The housing authority told you that your stuff was there because she told them that and then she denies it to the housing authority? You don't know. Listen, I don't know where your stuff is and I don't know where your jewelry is, quite frankly. I don't know. I can't decide whether or not she has your stuff. His story doesn't make any sense to me at all. His story, totally senseless. Doesn't have a ring of truth to it from the very beginning. So how am I supposed to take pieces of it that I don't believe and put together with pieces that I do believe to determine that she's a thief, that she took your property and won't return it? And I don't believe that in that bag was your jewelry on the way to the jeweler to have it steamed. Don't believe it. So your case is dismissed. Now, as far as your counterclaim is concerned, I have no idea whether or not she's been torturing you and harassing you. If she has been, I suggest you file a criminal complaint.
Well,
listen to me. I suggest if she has been harassing you on the telephone, that is a felony, that you file a criminal complaint. Do you understand?
Yes.
The two of you live together in the same complex. If you want to make each other's lives and your family's lives miserable, you'll continue to do so. If you file a criminal complaint, and if there is a hearing, and if either one or both of them are convicted of harassing you, you certainly have leave to come back to any small claims court and file a civil complaint. Do you understand?
Yes.
Perfect. Good. So your counterclaim is dismissed. Goodbye.
Yeah. Caught me sleep there. Your Honor, this is case number 307 on the calendar in the matter of Sane versus Ross. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
Miss Sane, it is your claim that the defendant assaulted you, scratched your face, causing you to bleed, scarring, etc.
Yes, ma'am.
When her car, which had been illegally parked in an area where you live,
Yes, ma'am.
when you requested that she move that car,
Yes, ma'am.
the defendant says that she was only there for a minute and that she was merely defending herself, but she has very long nails, which caused the scratching to your face. Is that right?
That's correct.
Now, on what date did this happen?
April 2nd.
Where?
At my apartment where I live, out in the front parking area.
Are there outdoor parking spaces?
There is 6 spaces on each side. When she parked her car into the fire lane, there was empty spots that she could have parked in.
Is that correct?
No, that is not correct. It wasn't a fire lane, and my car was not illegally parked. I backed in to unload a vacuum cleaner. She illegally parked because she backed around.
No, Miss Ross. Listen to me. Your car was not parked in a legal spot.
It wasn't illegally parked either.
What does that mean, madam? You explain what that means to me.
It was not parked in a fire lane.
Where was it parked? It was parked in a regular parking space?
No, it was parked in the middle of it.
In the middle of
the
what?
driveway. It was parked in the middle of the driveway.
Oh, okay. So it's parked in the middle of a driveway.
Exactly. She could have went around either way.
Why didn't you park the car in an appropriate parking place?
Because I was only in and out. I went there to drop off a vacuum.
Just a minute. So you parked your car in an illegal place in a driveway. That's what you did. Now, you were where? You came home and found the car there, or your car was already there?
I had went to my storage space, me and my witness and another friend. We had pulled my truck back to the very back of the apartments. I live in a 4-plex. And when I came out, the way I had went in, I couldn't go back out that way because there was vehicles filling my side and on the other duplex's side. So I was going to go around the very first car, go out through the front. But the lady that lives in apartment B, she always parks real far back, and her car was parked in the fire lane. I could not get through there.
Okay. So you could not get through to pull out so that you could get into your parking space?
Yes, ma'am.
Because her car was blocking you?
Yes, ma'am.
So what did you do?
I honked the horn. Like I said, we live in a small, it's just a 4-plex. I figured whoever owned it would come out. Nobody did.
Now, when you went into your storage space, was her car there?
No, ma'am.
How long were you in the storage space?
Probably about 30 minutes.
And when you came out, her car was there, and you said you started honking the horn. What happened when you honked the horn?
The children from the apartment next to me came up and asked me what my problem was, and asked me if they knew who the car belonged to, and they said yes, that her name was Evelyn, and she was at their parents' house. And I asked them if they could go ask her to move it.
Did they do that?
Yes, ma'am, and they came back and said that she said she would move it when she got ready.
Okay, and about how long were the children gone?
Just a few minutes.
A minute or two? No
Yes,
more than
ma'am.
that. And then what's the very next thing that happened?
About that time, she came around the corner, and she started walking over to her car, and I told her she needed to move her car at that time. And she stated that
What did you say to her?
I told her that she needed to move her car.
That's not what she said.
No, I'm sure that's not what
That
she
is
said.
not what
What
she
did you
said.
say?
That's the nicest version she could have put it in.
I want to know what you said to her.
I told her that she needed to move the car at that time, and she said she was not going to move the car.
That's
and
what she said.
And I said, yes.
I don't want to hear you until I look at you and say to you, speak. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yeah, I hear you.
No, that's not my question. My question is, do you understand? Not whether you hear. I was sure you heard me. Question is, do you understand what I said?
I understand.
Good. Now.
So I told her, yes, you will move the car.
And then what happened?
I went to the apartment right in where my truck was parked at, apartment B, and asked them if I could use the phone to call the police.
Okay.
And I called the police, and I told them that there was a lady parked in the fire lane. She wouldn't move the car. I had my back towards her, and just as I started to turn around...
You were in somebody's apartment?
No, I was outside beside my truck, which was a good 25 feet away from her car.
Okay, go ahead.
I had my back towards Miss Ross, and I just started to turn around, and I seen her running at me from behind. And at that point, she stabbed me underneath my eye with her keys and began to scratch my face.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She came out cussing and being very belligerent to me, and she kept cussing at me. She came out with that phone and swung. When she swung at me, she got swung back on.
And later today,
Your son was in jail. Domestic abuse. You spoke to your granddaughter.
I called her that day. That day I got called out of work to get $500 for my father to get bailed out of jail.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Melba Sane says, during an argument over a parking space, Evelyn Ross gouged her eyes. Evelyn says Melba swung first.
Okay. You have photographs of what
Yes,
your face
ma'am.
looked like?
Your Honor, that's not what happened. That's not the truth.
I thought you said you understood.
I guess I forgot saying that, but that's not the
I
truth.
thought you said you understood.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'll hear you.
Miss Sane started off by telling me to move my car, and she said it at least 5 times, and there is a police report from me to the Arlington police saying that. I told her she did not have to talk to me like that in order for me to move my car. On April 2nd, 2002, my daughter had a state track meet in which I was already running late to get to. She came out cussing and being very belligerent to me was the reason I got defensive. When she got those people's phone, she ran up to the car on the phone, shaking her finger at me. I'm moving my car, and she was still coming out.
Just a second, Miss Ross. You just said that she came up shaking her finger at you, but you were already moving your car.
Right.
Right. So you were inside of your car.
Right.
But there came a time when you moved outside of your car, because I'm looking at these photographs of her face. So at some point, you got out of your car. When did you get out of your car?
I got out of my car once it was out of the middle of the parking lot into a parking place.
Okay, now just 1 second, so that let me understand this, Miss Ross. You were in your car, and she was being belligerent, and she was on the phone, and she was yelling and cursing at you.
Right.
So you get into your car, and you put it in reverse?
Yes.
And you move back.
Into a parking spot.
Just a second. You move back.
Right.
Into a parking space.
Right.
And then what do?
I got out of my car.
Now you're on your way, and you're running late to your daughter's track meet. You want to explain to me why you got out of your car?
Because I left something inside of the house.
Really?
And
What
yes.
did you leave inside of the house?
I'm not sure at this point what it was, but I got out of my car for a reason. Either my cigarettes or something, cigarettes, lighter, one of the two.
Either your cigarettes or your lighter that were, I assume, more important than the track meet that your daughter was in.
No, it wasn't
running
more
late
important.
For.
It wasn't more
So what did
important.
you do when you got out of the car?
I got out of the car and attempted to go back around to my friend's house, and she kept cussing at me. And when she came out with that phone and swung. When she swung at me, she got exactly those scratches. She got swung back on. She swung first, and Arlington Police Department have a report saying so. She swung first. That's the reason it wasn't a criminal case.
I'll see the police report, please.
See it.
I'll see the police report. You think I believe your story that you left something inside?
You
that
think
you
I
were in such
believe hers?
fear, Miss Ross, quiet, that you were in such fear of her screaming and cursing at you that you were in your car, you could have gone your own way and stopped off and bought another lighter or a pack of cigarettes, whichever it was that was so important that you can't even remember it now. You would have been out of harm's way and gone, except you decided to pull into a parking space and get out and not confront her. Oh, no. To
No,
go
I
back
didn't.
inside to the apartment that you just came from to get something that you can't remember as we speak now and cause this type of damage to her face.
That was from my
Speak
hand. That's
not.
not from a key.
Speak not.
Your Honor.
Shh. Well, that's very unfortunate. This friend of yours who finally, after several missed appointments, went to talk to the police. Nobody else, according to the investigating police officer, wanted to get involved in this whole incident. I wonder why. I am satisfied after hearing your testimony and after hearing your testimony that you were the instigator in this whole incident, Miss Ross. You had the absolute ability to extricate yourself, to leave this argument, which you had caused by illegally parking your car.
What was
Because
she
I'm
started?
speaking! By illegally parking your car and then saying to the kids who came in to tell you to please move your car that I'll move my car when I'm good and ready. That's the kind of
persona that I'm seeing as you're standing here testifying today. Those are the exact words that would come out of your mouth. Now, I'm not saying that Miss Sane didn't use some vulgarities when you finally did come out. I believe she did. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. That does not give you the right to cause the injuries that you did, which you caused. And for that, I am awarding the plaintiff $5,000. That's all. Step out.
What is our excuse?
She was the instigator.
She approached me and attacked me from behind.
She started it.
I have a statement from a dermatologist about the scars on my face.
She got her butt whooped because of it.
The hole in my face.
Looked like someone had been mauled by a grizzly bear.
She came out cussing and swinging at me.
It's consistent, he says, with a stab wound.
And I'm not gonna ever let anybody hit me and just walk away or drive away.
She told me she would be back.
She came after me and she got tore up because of it.
This isn't the end.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Cannon versus Coughlin, step forward, please.
Pilot David Cannon is suing ex-girlfriend Jennifer Coughlin for the return of his 52-inch television set. Jennifer says David gave it to her when he was drunk.
Mr. Cannon, Miss Coughlin is your former girlfriend, and you say she has a television set, a big one, that belongs to you.
Yes, ma'am.
She says the television was a gift. And I find the story behind how you got this television set sort of interesting. I want to make sure I get it right. So why don't you tell me how you got the television set, sir, and when?
It was Super Bowl Sunday. We had decided to go to this place called Boston Pizza. We had just broken up recently and we decided that day actually to get back together.
Your Honor, that's not true.
Don't interrupt.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Pilot David Cannon is suing ex-girlfriend Jennifer Coughlin for the return of his 52-inch television set. Jennifer says David gave it to her when he was drunk.
Go ahead.
So we went over to the bar. My next-door neighbor was joining us. He joined us a little later. During the game, I was talking to this gentleman next to me, and he was a Patriots fan. I was a Rams fan. Unfortunately, he was the happier one at the end of the night. Patriots won. They were giving away a TV at the end of the night, and the gentleman won it. And I was like, he lived in Boston, and I was like, you can't take that TV back with you. Why don't you just give it to me? He goes, well, if you pay my tab, my bill, I'll let you have the TV. So I was like, well, that's a deal. Because it's like a $2,000 TV, and I paid the tab. It came to like $150. And we were excited, and I was excited about getting back together with her. And I said, well, why don't we just take the TV over to your place, because that's where I always stayed anyway when we were together, and we could all enjoy it, you and your kids. And in the heat of the moment, I kind of said, well, I'll just give it to you, why not? And my next-door neighbor, as we were taking it out, told me that I was nuts, and as we were driving over there and got it up and set up in her apartment, I realized that he was right, and I told her as much, and I said, I can't just give this to you. It's too big of a gift. Why don't we just keep it here? We can all enjoy it, and I'll be here for at least another year, and, we're back together, and, life is good, flowers and happiness and joy, and and she agreed to it. She said, okay. And my next-door neighbor was there to witness it. He works for the state of Texas, and he was not able to come this week. But I have an affidavit if you want to read it. I didn't think you would, but I tried. So 2 weeks later, we get into some kind of argument. She says she wants to break up. I said, I want my TV back then. And she goes, no. I went out and got the warranty in my name. It's my TV now. Tough luck.
Your version.
It's quite different than that. We were sitting at Boston's in Louisville watching the Super Bowl, and we befriended the man in question that originally won the television. And Mr. Cannon here was quite drunk. When the TV was won by him, he looked at us and said, well, I'm just going to go ahead and give it to you guys because I can't take it back to Boston, obviously. And he got up and announced to the whole entire bar that he was giving it to me. And his neighbor loaded it into his truck, brought it to my apartment that evening, and I also had some neighbors of mine help bring it up the stairs. And he told everybody who would listen that he was giving it to me, and he was so wonderful. I had done so much for him while we were together. I had loaned him money, this, that, and the other, and that he was giving it to me as a gift. And I did register the warranty in my name, which proves his verification of ownership from RCA, and I told him that I had done that, and he did say at one point, well, I was really drunk and I didn't know what I was doing, so I should probably just go ahead and, just let you borrow the television. And I said, no, you don't do that. Called him a few choice names, and that was the end of it. I didn't hear from him again until April when he filed the case.
Mr. Cannon, describe this television.
It's a 52-inch big screen TV, RCA.
And what size television do you have now in your apartment?
Probably about 25-inch. I have the receipt from Boston's regarding the bill that I paid. I paid the guy's bill to get the TV.
I believe that. Mr. Cannon.
Yes.
I also believe you just gave her the television set. You were drunk. According to you, we were getting back together that day. You wanted to be very magnanimous. So it doesn't ring true that once you got the television up to her house, you would say to her, after having a whole day of drinking and being in a reasonable mood since you're getting back together with this lady that you are crazy about, listen, maybe it would be just a good idea if I let you borrow it. But you had already given it to her. She had already made arrangements and gotten people to move it up to her apartment.
Well, there wasn't anything arranged. We just kind of loaded up in my next-door neighbor's truck and went over
took it there to her house because you had given it to her as a gift.
No, I originally said, let's just take it over to your house, because I didn't have any room in my house.
What do you mean you don't have any room in
We
your
already
house?
we already had 2 TVs, and her place was closer, and her TV was terrible.
So you gave her a TV. Let her enjoy it along with her kids. Goodbye.
That's just case number 318 on the calendar in the matter of Purdue versus Higgins. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have seats, please.
Mr. Purdue.
Good morning.
Good morning. According to your complaint, sir, you gave the defendant rings pursuant to a relationship that the two of you were in.
Yes.
And she was living with you for a brief period of time, and you claimed that there was a promise that if the relationship did not turn out, she would give you the rings back. You claimed that the relationship did not work out, she left, and you don't have the rings.
Yes, ma'am.
The second part of your lawsuit is a claim for a small loan. I think it was $40-some-odd, yes, in order to permit her to get a restraining order against a boyfriend of hers who was supposed to be an abusive boyfriend,
yes,
who she subsequently went back to.
Yes, ma'am.
And you want that money back.
Yes.
And Miss Higgins says that she did not have a relationship with you, that she was really nothing more than a housekeeper for you, a housekeeper/companion, that the rings were a gift. However, when you said you wanted them back, she went over to your house and threw them in your yard. Is that
Yes,
right?
Your Honor.
How long have you known her, Mr. Purdue?
Approximately 9 months.
Where did you meet her?
Met her in a bar. She was my buddy's girlfriend at the time I met her. And before the night was over, she was sucking my fingers and everything, wanting to...
Your Honor,
you know,
that's a lie. Listen to me. I don't want you to get into anything that I don't have to hear
Well,
in order
I'm-
to make this lawsuit. Do you understand? There are certain things that I don't have to hear graphically. She was making advances towards you. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Within a week, she had broke up with this guy, and she called me and wanted me to move her out of there and move her into my house.
How did she get your home telephone number?
I was more than anxious. I mean, I was a willing party at the time.
Okay,
You
go
know,
ahead.
I was impressed with her, and she was a hot number in my book. But within a week, she'd moved into my house. I tried to, lead a normal life and everything, but she just didn't have it in her. 3 days or so, and she'd be gone all night. Then she'd come back in the morning, smelling like a billy goat, and I'd kick her out, and then the telephone calls would come back again, and we're back in another relationship again. This girl needs help. She doesn't have a job.
No, she doesn't need help. You need help.
Yeah, okay, I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Tell me about the rings, sir.
Okay, I'd bought the rings in 1987 for my
what?
wife,
Mm-hmm.
and she's deceased of 3 years. And because Liz always identified so much, she told me, she says, I feel so close to your wife and everything. I know. Yes, I give her rings. And I told her at the time I gave them to her, because we had such a rocky relationship, we've been together and kicked her out several times. I've had the police drag her out from the door. Anyway, when I gave them to her, I says, because these rings mean so much to me, if this doesn't work out, I have to have the rings back. She agreed. We were engaged 3 days.
You mean when you gave her the rings, you thought that they were given as an engagement?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, did you ask her to marry you?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you say to her?
I said, Liz, will you marry me? She says, yes. To me, that was a contract. 3 days later, she stayed out all night. I presume now it was with Ken.
This is the boyfriend.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
This was the one that the $42 is about. But where was I now?
You were giving her the rings that were so sentimentally valid for you because you had bought them for your deceased wife in 1987, and you gave them to somebody who came home every third night smelling like a billy goat.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
That's where you were.
She just 3 days we were engaged. She goes out that night, spends out all night long. I don't know where she was or anything. I broke off the engagement. I'm driving her back to her mother's house. And she says, Bill, please let me have the rings for a couple of days. I says, why do you want the rings? She says, I want to save face in front of my family, my wife, my mother, and my kids. I says, okay, but I've got to have them back. You know, when I went to get them back, she absolutely refused.
Okay. And then she's going to tell me that when you said, give me the rings, I want the rings, I want the rings, she came over to your house and you threw them in the yard. Is that right?
What happened was he had started driving by my house and calling all the time. And one day he came over and all I had on was a T-shirt. He came in and he tried to hug me and he grabbed my breasts. At the time,
Would you get to the rings, please?
Okay, I was with Ken. Okay.
Good for you. Would you
Ken
get to
told
the
me
rings,
flat out,
please?
this is what he said. He said, I want you to prove that you're done with Bill Perdue officially, okay? So we got in his van, he drove, we drove by, and I threw the rings in his yard and called to let him know that they were there.
You're an idiot. All right. Strike you. Strike you. Now, let me go through this with you, Mr. Perdue. She told you at some point in between her going out in the evening that she had to get a restraining order against him. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did you say to her?
I went with her down to the town court. We did file a temporary restraining order. I gave her the money. She filed it. A month later, you go back and make it permanent in front of a judge. But the night before, we'd gone out for a couple of drinks, and she started a fight for no reason. I've got no idea why she's so mad, but she's starting to fight. So I says, you know, you got to fight. I said, I don't care. But she said, okay, I'm going to court tomorrow by myself.
Your Honor, there was no argument.
Shh.
I found out that she went to court. As soon as Ken walked in, they went outside for a long time. She came back in and dropped charges on that very day.
Fine, that still doesn't make this a loan, sir.
My
Mr. Perdue.
$42.
It doesn't make it a loan.
She asked me for the money.
Your Honor,
So
he told me he was giving me the money.
Miss Higgins, don't interrupt me. That doesn't make it a loan, Mr. Perdue. She asked you for the money. You gave her the money.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a gift. That's not a loan. So let's just deal with the rings. All right. Now, Miss Higgins, I want you to tell me your version of the rings.
Okay, he had bought these rings, okay? They were sitting in his house, okay, in a box. Finally, one day, night he comes and he says, you know, he looks right at me and he says, Liz, I know, and these are exact words, I know that you're probably never going to marry me, but I bought these for you. They're your rings. I took the rings. It's that simple.
So you were really nothing more than a housekeeper for him.
He and I...
Shh. That's what you say in your answer. That you took care of the house, you cleaned up, you cooked, and you
That's
were
right.
a companion. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So it was a job.
It wasn't necessarily a job. I mean, we were both benefiting from it. I was staying there and taking a break from my house, and my mom's handicapped, and I take care of her. So I was taking a break from that. And he was benefiting by eating and having his house cleaned.
So that it was a barter arrangement, but still a job. You got free room and board, and he got his house cleaned.
Right.
And his refrigerator replenished with cooked food.
That's right, Your Honor. I bought the groceries.
Shh. Then can you explain to me why he would say to an employee, you're probably never going to marry me, but I bought these rings for you?
Because
so you answered
that's
me.
the reason I left, Your Honor, because he started getting obsessive. And at one point in time, he started referring himself to me as Daddy.
Okay, let me ask you this question, Ms. Higgins. Do you believe that if you hadn't taken the rings and encouraged a relationship, if I believe your story, you say, no, I'm not, Mr. Perdue, I'm not taking these rings from you because you're right, I'm not going to marry you. I am your housekeeper. Do you think that he would have become obsessive?
He was already, before we had lived together prior to this, he had already become obsessive. See, he and I stayed with him for a while before. When he was telling you that he met me through a boyfriend I had at the time,
yes.
Okay? And I would invite him over at that time to cook meals for him, okay? Because I knew his wife had just died. I had heard all kinds of different things about him.
Okay.
So anyway, back then, he asked me to come and stay, okay? And he was missing home-cooked meals, and at the time, that's all he wanted, okay? And I was staying with him. Then he began wanting more, and he wanted sex and different things, and I moved out at that time, too. Now, this time he promised me it would be different.
Now, what prompted you, if he wanted all of these things, what prompted you to move back there?
because we had been friends without me living there. We had just remained friends.
Is there any reason, Miss Higgins, why when Genius over here told you that he wanted to know that you were finished with Mr. Perdue once and for all, and according to you, you drove by the house and threw the rings in the yard, you couldn't do the civilized thing, which would have been to put the rings in a box, take it to the post office, and mail it to him?
Your Honor, at that time I was very angry because the reason this conversation between Ken and I even started in the first place. In fact, can I call him up here, Your Honor, for this?
Oh, I would love to hear from him.
I can. But anyway, the thing is that I was angry because he was driving by the house and we were getting phone calls, and my kids had told me.
Why didn't you just give him back the rings?
Because my kids had told me.
Why didn't you just give him?
I didn't want to see him.
Why didn't you just give him back the rings?
He was obsessed with me, and I didn't want to see him.
You don't have to see him. Mail him back the rings.
I was extremely angry.
What were you angry about?
Because my kids had come to me and told me that he was trying to bribe my kids.
Why didn't you just return the rings?
I was angry, and I just went and threw them in his yard, and I called him, told him there they were.
Listen.
Because his threats, he was threatening that somebody was looking around for him to beat him up and everything else. And I was so fed up with the guy.
You want to say anything to me?
Yes, Your Honor. Her and I have had a rocky relationship, but the thing is, I'm tired of the phone calls from him at 7 o'clock in the morning every day. He's come in between our relationship enough times. He was a nice guy when I met him, but he got worse and worse, and it just conflict between him and I. He would kind of come by the house in the middle of the night.
You don't think that she's partially responsible for that?
I think they're both responsible for some things.
Fine, right. The fact that you are not sleeping with him, sir, doesn't mean that he's more responsible than she is. She took advantage
Your Honor,
of him.
I wasn't sleeping with him.
I didn't say you sleeping with him, madam. I said the fact that he's not sleeping with him.
Oh, okay.
You see, the reason he's angry with him is because why should he be angry with you? The two of you share a bed together. He says you're equally responsible. The two of you are equally responsible. Well, the reason he's mad at him instead of you is because he sleeps with you, and he doesn't sleep with him. Now, do you understand that? That may be confusing to you. Not you.
No, I
him.
understand.
Now, you understand. All right? So, they're equally responsible, but not really. She's more responsible. You want me to tell you why? Is your name Ken?
Yes, ma'am.
Ken.
Judge.
There's no fool like an old fool. He's an old fool. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Got a younger woman, makes him feel younger, makes him feel stronger, gets a little obsessive. She encourages him a little bit. She encourages him a lot because she's got to get away from one boyfriend, she moves in with him. She's got to get away from you because things aren't good, she moves in with him. She moves in with him, then she takes off and goes with you. She gets a restraining...
Your Honor, that's not
Quiet! She gets a restraining order, preliminary restraining order against you. She's saying, poor me, I'm a poor victim, everybody's abusing me. And she said a lot of things about you in order to get a restraining order, sir. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, it is.
What did she say about you in the restraining order? Did she say that you were abusive?
Yes.
Did she say that you were threatening?
Yes.
Did she say that she was afraid of you?
Yes.
Was all that true?
Parts.
Parts, but parts not?
Parts not.
Were you abusive?
At times.
Really? Were you physically abusive?
There was some pushing every once in a while.
Every once in a while. He never pushed her.
That's not what I was told either.
No, just a minute. A little obsessive, maybe. But didn't do half the things to her that you did. And then she made up some stuff along the way, according to you, when she made out that report, right?
I'd assume so.
What do you mean you assume so? You got a copy of it, sir. You read it, right? That's why you showed up in the courthouse that day. And when you saw it, Ken, did you say to yourself, she's lying about some of this stuff? She's a liar?
Well, see, I didn't ask her any questions. I had no contact.
Did you say to yourself, she's a liar? I never did that. On some of the stuff you did, right? So here we have two people on one side, and you now tell me that she's a liar.
I don't say fully
a liar.
Oh,
If you lie, if you
like to put it, Your
swear
Honor.
to an application for a protective order under penalties of perjury, and you lie, that makes you a liar.
Yes.
Right.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
She threatened my mother. She threatened all of my friends. She threatened to put antifreeze in my dog's food bowl.
You have to stop.
I have.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You have to stop.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Bill Perdue says ex-fiancée Elizabeth Higgins owes for the cost of 2 heirloom rings. Elizabeth says she threw the rings into his front yard.
Listen to me. I find that these rings were given as an engagement gift in contemplation of getting married. And when Miss Higgins accepted it, she may not have been serious about accepting them as an engagement ring.
Yes.
She may not have been serious, but she led you to believe she was serious. I don't believe her story that she was the housekeeper and cook you chicken every other Tuesday and Thursday and maybe a brisket on Friday. I don't believe that.
No.
And if she wanted to return them, then she does the reasonable thing. If she, in fact, returned them at all by throwing them in your yard, she puts them in the mail and returns them. So I don't believe she returned them at all. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,850. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'm very glad she's got a new outfit. She looks like a kind of little Catholic girl.
We were just true friends, and I truly believe that. I believed he was a good friend to me, but obviously I was wrong.
I think I'll probably start going to church now instead of hanging in the bars picking up women.
And now,
The University of Arizona is the way to go.
and now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Mullendor versus Mayfield. Step forward, please.
21-year-old baker Janelle Mullendor is suing her ex-boyfriend's girlfriend, 21-year-old homemaker Melinda Mayfield, for smashing out her car windows. Melinda is countersuing, claiming Janelle trashed her apartment.
Miss Mullendor, you and the defendant have a boyfriend in common, and one of you has a child with him. Which one has the child?
I have a child with Christopher.
Where's Christopher?
He is at work.
What kind of work does Christopher do?
He's a furniture salesman and he moves furniture.
Invisible as he should be. In any event, Miss Mullendor, is your claim that the defendant vandalized your car?
Yes.
As a matter of fact, she was arrested for vandalizing your car.
Yes.
And you went to some sort of a mediation, a criminal mediation?
Yes.
And at the mediation, you promised to do something. What did you promise to do, Miss Mayfield?
I agreed that I would pay Janelle back for the balance owed on her windows that she had to pay. And in the same note, she agreed that she would stay out of my life, out of Christopher's life, and out of our son's life. Leave us alone. And
Okay, now I assume that that was reduced to a writing.
yes.
Can I see it, please? Because suffice it to say that the payment for the window was never made and you have a defense to that. So let me see what you agreed to.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Out!
I was a witness to
Did you hear what I said to you? Out!
Did you want me to leave?
Yes. What does out mean?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Janelle Mullendor says her ex-boyfriend's girlfriend, Melinda Mayfield, smashed out her car windows and refuses to pay. Melinda says Janelle won't stay out of her life.
Did you do community service?
No.
They call you Mindy?
Yeah, that's my nickname.
Yeah. Why didn't you do community service?
I had spoken to the woman a few times, and she said they had a list that they were going to mail out to me of places to call in community service, and they never did. And
So you just didn't do that, and you didn't pay her the $520 that you agreed to pay her.
Nope. I have pictures.
Just a second. You don't need any pictures. She said she went through a mediation. Instead of getting arrested, having a record, she agreed to pay for the windows and apologized for breaking them. That's what it says here. So she didn't do community service, and she didn't pay the $520. You didn't have to show me anything. When did you break the windows? And don't tell me I didn't break the windows.
Well, I did not break the windows.
Okay, you did break the windows. When did you break the windows?
She broke them on the November 20th of '01.
Tell me the circumstances of her breaking the windows.
She came over to Christopher's apartment, which I was there. We were not allowing her into the apartment because she was very angry. And she banged on the door and she said if I didn't come out, she was going to break all my windows out in my car. And I was like, Christopher, you need to go out there and talk to her. This is your business. Well, she went and got the tire iron out of her car, and she broke out my front windshield, my side windshield, and my back windshield.
And you saw her do that?
Yes.
Okay.
I was not there. I was at my brother's house with
I don't
him.
believe him. I don't believe you. Now, let's go for it. It doesn't make any difference. You agreed to pay for the windows.
So she would
you
stay
didn't
away from
pay
me
for the
and my
windows.
son
You
and
didn't
my
pay for the
boyfriends.
windows. Now you give me the defense.
The reason I did not pay, because in this agreement, she strictly said she was not going to come around me, my child, or my boyfriend. She said she was going to stay out of her life. She asked for some property that was in the apartment, which I did not know whether or not any of it was hers. I asked Christopher. He said yes, that some of it was, not all of it. We agreed to make a time with her to come give her the things. On Saturday...
So now Christopher's gone back to you.
Yes.
So from being with her, he decided to go back to you.
We've been together since the baby was born.
Was the baby born in November?
January 1st, 2000.
Oh, okay. So while you were pregnant, he was with her.
Right.
And then after the baby was born, he came back to you.
Right.
The prize, who's selling furniture someplace. Okay, so now he's back living with you.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So March 23rd, 3 days after our mediation, me and my brother went to my apartment to pick up laundry. Shanda met us over there. Whenever I got there, my door was unlocked. I went inside. My entire apartment was ransacked and trashed. Pictures of me and Christopher holding our son for the first time were demolished, smashed, ripped, torn. And when I spoke to the lady about the mediation, she said that...
what does that have to do with you paying the $520?
The things missing were the things she asked for in the agreement. She obviously didn't stay away. She broke in. She refuses to get out of his life. She lives with his brother. She calls, harasses. She comes by, drives by our house repeatedly.
You choose to have a baby with a loser. That's your problem. You get involved with and that makes you a loser. Hopefully, you'll grow up so that your child won't be a loser.
My child's
but right now, oh yeah, raised by two losers. Unless you wisen up, somebody who lives with one woman while he's impregnated another woman.
She didn't live with him.
Just a minute. Hangs around with her while he's got a pregnant lady who's due to deliver in about 3 months, and then says, well, now I'm going to go live with her, and doesn't have the moral fortitude to come to court with either one of them because he had to work selling his furniture, or was he running IBM? I'm not sure which one you told me. Right? That person is a loser. Now, you made an agreement which would keep you from having a record, and that was that you were going to pay for her windows. That's what you do. And if you believe that she was responsible for burglarizing your apartment and for vandalizing your apartment, you call and you make a police report. And if they find her prints there, then they will arrest her. But you don't take it upon yourself to say, listen, I think she's the one who broke into my apartment.
I know she is. She took everything that she wanted.
Pay attention.
She has no proof she busted out the windows either.
Get out. Get out. This is not a dance party.
I'm sorry.
Get out. Out.
I was a witness to it.
Did you hear what I said to you? Out.
Did you want me to leave?
Yes. What does out mean?
I'm sorry about that.
Just out. Out is out. Bottom line, you make an agreement with the criminal justice system. You abide by that decision. And if you feel as if she's breached the decision, you don't resort to self-help and say, I don't have to keep my end of the bargain.
This is what the mediators told me. They said,
listen to me.
Okay, I'm listening.
Tell me what the mediators told you. These are the same mediators who didn't send you a list of places to go to do your community service. Everybody's screwing up except you. Yep. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $520. That's
Hello, I have a claim.
This is case number 3.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Stavitsky versus Pickett. Step forward, please.
Homemaker Karen Stavitsky is suing her best friend's estranged husband, technician Tim Pickett, for an unpaid loan for an engagement ring.
Miss Stavitsky, the defendant became engaged and then married your best friend.
That's correct.
Is that your best friend?
Yes.
So you and the defendant were married at some point, or still are married, but in the process of divorcing.
Correct.
Is that right, sir?
Yes.
When did you become engaged, sir?
December 21st, I believe it was.
Of what year?
1999.
And you wanted to buy your fiancé an engagement ring?
Yes, Your Honor.
But you didn't have enough money, so that the plaintiff lent you some money.
Yes.
How much money did she lend you?
$1,678.95.
Is that the total amount of the ring that was purchased?
Yes.
Tell me about the conversation that you had with her with regard to her making this loan to you.
Well, we had come to an agreement that I would pay her $100 a month until the ring was paid off.
She was very nice.
Yes.
Well, the lawsuit is all about this. They got married. When did you get married?
June 17th of 2000.
And you were making payments on the ring.
Yes.
You still owe some money on the ring.
Yes.
And you say, I'm not paying for it anymore. Right?
Correct.
Get it from her. That's your position.
Yes, Your Honor.
Explain to me how that works.
Not long after the marriage, we were having financial difficulty, and Karen was aware of this, and we had talked, and she agreed that what I could pay her as often as I could, I would. Since the divorce was filed, I haven't been able to make any payments because of the payments that I'm making as far as covering bills and child support, and now Karen has filed suit against me for the outcoming of the ring.
Well, why should she be out the money?
Well, she shouldn't be out the money, Your Honor, but the cause of the divorce, I mean, my children were verbally assaulted And I'm sorry, I don't stand for that type of treatment to children, so I had to leave the home.
Well, your wife's not the plaintiff in this case. She's the plaintiff. She was a nice person. She lent you money so that you could buy a ring because you were in love with this girl. You wanted to give her a ring. You said, I don't have the money. Lend it to me.
Yes, Your Honor.
She lent it to you.
Right.
And now you're in your answer. You say, I don't have the marriage. I don't have the ring. I don't get to look at the ring.
Well,
and therefore, I don't have to pay for the ring. Go ahead.
Your Honor, I've requested that the ring be given back or to be sold to pay off the loan on the ring.
I know that's what you requested, but why do you think that you're entitled to that?
As far as a wedding ring to me, Your Honor, it represents...
Engagement ring, not wedding ring.
Well, it's an engagement wedding ring set.
Okay.
Is honor, trust, which was broken in the marriage.
By her?
No. That's why I requested the ring back, so it could be sold to pay...
You don't get it back.
Money.
You don't get an engagement ring back once you've been married. You get an engagement ring back if you're not married. An engagement ring is given in contemplation of getting married. It has always been my position that if the engagement is broken, whose ever fault that is, the ring goes back to the person who gave the ring because there's no contract. But once you get married, what you're suggesting is all those people who get divorced, the ex-husbands get back the engagement ring, whether they're married for a year or 2 years or 25 years or 30 years or 50 years, they get back the engagement ring. Is that your position?
Yes.
Wrong! How much does he owe you on the ring?
$978.95.
Judgment for the plaintiff, that's all. Your lawsuit's dismissed.
Not on the calendar in the matter of Kitchen versus Johnson. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks have seats.
How old are you?
21.
And you?
I'm not. I'm 20.
You're too young to be living together. Do you know that?
Yes.
I read these papers, and it's sort of like you were playing in a playpen, like 2 3-year-olds. Didn't you ever learn about working and playing well with others?
Yes.
How long were you living together?
In our apartment, we were living together for almost a year, but before that, we lived together for a year and a half.
Ah. Now, you tell me what date it is that you had this big fight.
It was February 23rd, 2002.
And you were living together, still living together at the time.
Yes.
And you were angry with him.
Yes, I was angry with
You
him.
were angry. Tell me why you were angry, Miss Kitchen.
I was angry with him because he came home around 7 a.m. in the morning and woke me and my brother up arguing with me.
So what did you do because you were angry? What did you do to his clothes?
After we got into an argument, I took his clothes out the closet and I told him he needs to move out.
You took his clothes out of the closet, Miss Kitchen, and what did you do with his clothes? Just be careful what you tell me. Took his clothes out of the closet, and where did you throw them?
I threw them on the floor.
Did you throw any of them outside?
Yes, I did.
Yes, of course you did. And so he got angry.
Yes.
And he said to you, pick up my clothes and put them back. Is that what you said?
Correct.
And you said?
No.
And he said, if you don't pick up my clothes, I'm going to take
your stereo and throw them over the balcony.
And you didn't pick up his?
I didn't pick up his clothes.
And you did what?
Well, I kept the radio. She went and got some bleach to pour on my clothes while they was on the balcony.
So she went into a different room to get bleach.
The kitchen.
Show me how big the jar of bleach was.
It was this big.
Big jar.
Big jar.
And you said, if you don't put down my radio, I'm going to put what on your clothes?
Bleach.
Shh, please. I love this story. It gets a lot better.
It's fun so far.
It gets a lot better. Anyway, you got the bottle of bleach out of her hand.
No, she put the bleach down. I picked it up. She ran in the room and got my glasses.
She put the bottle of bleach down, got your
Gucci
fancy
glasses.
Fancy Gucci glasses.
Right.
You picked up the bleach.
Right.
What was she going to do with your glasses?
She said, I'm going to break them. I twist off the bottle of the bleach. I said, if you break those glasses, I will pour this on your side of the closet.
And what did she do?
She broke it, and I poured it on her side of the closet. But before all this, she done bit me up, scratched me, before she grabbed my clothes.
Before?
Before. Before she even grabbed my clothes, because I was trying to stand in front of the closet, she started scratching and biting me. Her brother was trying to pull her off of me, but while he was pulling, she still had a lock on me. She was like locked like a rock wallet.
What was she so... Shh. What was she so mad about, Mr. Johnson?
She was all kinds of things that she wanted. She didn't want me to have no other girls, and that she was gonna mess up my face so nobody else would want me or something like that. So she was trying to scar me up.
Okay, so now she broke your glasses.
Word.
But before that, she had already scratched you up.
Yeah.
She was furious.
Yeah, her brother was trying to hold her back and telling her to quit and calm down.
Because she was angry.
And he
she's
wrote
got a
that
bad
in the
temper.
incident report.
Even with that sweet voice, she has a bad temper.
Word.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Okay, so you poured bleach all over her clothes.
All over it.
And she broke your glasses and scratched you.
She broke my glasses first, and then I poured it over her closet.
But before that, she had scratched
She had scratched me and bit me.
Okay. Now then, clothes are bleached, you're scratched and bleeding, your glasses are broken. Somehow you get outside.
Yeah, she's just, when I poured the bleach, she just started crying and breaking down like she had lost her best friend. I grabbed my clothes and tried to put them in my trunk. I ran downstairs.
Okay. And when you got down to the car, what did you see?
She was telling her brother that she had called the police and to talk to the police while she come and chase after me. And I was putting things in the trunk, and she got in my car, and she was scratching my car. She hit my car. She was pulling all the CDs out my car. When the police pulled up, she was in my car.
No. And then she got arrested.
She got arrested. She asked the police.
You have the police report?
No, word. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, I do.
May I see it, please?
And that's her brother's statement.
Just a minute. I'm
The
reading
only
everything.
witness.
I'm reading everything.
And I have pictures of the bruises.
I'd like to see those, too.
There you go. All right. And I got glasses.
Can I tell my side of the story now?
Yeah.
Okay, that is not what happened. Tristan came home at 7 in the morning and woke me up. And
I heard that already.
We started yelling and arguing. He snatched my stereo out the wall and tried to throw it over the balcony. I told him that if he threw the stereo, I was going to bleach his clothes. He dropped my stereo and ran in the room. He picked up the bleach and ran in the room and had the bleach over my clothes. I told him that if he bleached my clothes, I was going to break his glasses. He poured bleach all over my clothes, then I broke his glasses. I fell to the ground and started screaming and hollering, and I told my brother to go call the police. He grabbed my purse and picked up his clothes and ran downstairs. I ran downstairs after him, and I grabbed his cell phone. So I told him I'll give him his cell phone if he gave me my purse. I gave him his cell phone, he gave me my purse. I stood by the car, and I wouldn't let him get into the car. So
your daughter?
Yes. So we stood by the car waiting for the police. He pushed me into
You
his
owe me for
rearview
listening
mirror.
to this, right? You owe me. Go ahead.
He pushed me into his rearview mirror. That's how his rearview mirror broke. I didn't have no keys in my hand, so I did not key his car like he said I did.
You kept telling your sister to calm down, right?
Yes.
But she was out of control.
Well, she has a reason.
She was out of control.
Yes.
You didn't tell him to calm down. Right?
Well, I was...
No. You didn't tell him to calm down. You were telling your sister to calm down. Is that right?
Right.
Right. Uh-huh.
Well, I was...
I didn't ask you anything else.
All right. Can I ask you a question?
No. I ask questions.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You can't bite people. That's not nice.
He kept on pushing me down on the bed. That's why I bit
You
him.
can't bite people because you were acting like a nut.
And later today,
Brother smashes rental car that sister leased for him as a favor. Brother's answer is, duh.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Nicole Kitchen says ex-boyfriend Tristan Johnson bleached her clothes in anger. Tristan says it was in retaliation for breaking his Gucci sunglasses.
Let me read you what you told the police. Your name is Carthen?
Yes.
She was yelling, your sister was yelling at him to get out of the house.
Yes.
She was saying he hasn't paid all of the rent.
Right. Oh, sorry.
She told him to go to his girlfriend's house. He cheated on her, and that's why they broke up. They argued for at least 45 minutes. Then she, your sister, started throwing all of his clothes onto the balcony. He took her CD player and said, if my clothes go over, your CD player goes over. She was trying to get the CD player back from him. He was holding her back with his other arm. She bit him on the arm to get her CD player. She took the player and put it inside. He still wouldn't leave, so she grabbed bleach and threatened to pour the bleach on his clothes. He stopped her from doing it. He grabbed the bleach. My sister took his sunglasses and threatened to break them. He told her, you better not break those or I'll bleach your clothes. She snapped his glasses in half. Then he poured bleach on her clothes. Then I called the police.
Yes.
Word for word is what you told the police, which is exactly what he said. I think she bit him twice on the arm and the chest, but I'm not sure. How long were you in jail?
9.5 hours.
You can't bite people. That's not nice.
He kept on pushing me down on the bed. That's why I bit him.
You can't bite people because you were acting like a nut. You were acting kooky. You got mad. But you weren't terribly injured, right?
No, but I got to wear these scars for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it's not nice.
No, not at all.
Listen, you're each suing each other. You're suing because you say he has some of your property.
Yes.
And he poured bleach all over your clothes.
Yes.
He's counterclaiming because he says you broke his sunglasses, you assaulted him, you damaged some of his stuff, and each of you want $5,000 from the other. Do you think you behaved well that day?
No, I don't think I behaved well.
Do you think you behaved well that day?
I didn't put my hands on her.
You think you behaved
Besides the
appropriately?
bleach, no.
Well, but the bleach is a big thing.
Yes.
She threw your clothes down.
And it was
She
just
broke
raining
your
the next day,
glasses.
so my clothes was already a done deal.
Listen, she broke your glasses, you pick up your stuff, you leave the house until she cools off, and you haven't done anything to retaliate, because by retaliating, then you felt better, right? You thought you'd feel better.
No,
She
because
broke your glasses, so you were going to make yourself feel better by bleaching her clothes, right?
Right.
Well, that's what you did. So what do you want from me? You each got what you deserved. What do you want from me?
She went to my job and told them that I beat her up back in,
No.
that I choked her in the staff lounge back in January.
You have somebody from your job to testify to that?
I got the reason why I was terminated that
You
says
have
that.
somebody from your job to testify as to what she told them.
I just got the letter.
I don't read letters. Let's talk about the property.
Okay.
You each damaged the other's property. If you think I'm going to value what you each damaged, you're absolutely nuts. You acted like 2 3-year-olds in a playground. So if I would do anything, I would award you 0, you 0, you 5,000, you 5,000. That would each give you 0. Choose whatever you like. Neither one of you were entitled to any money, and neither one of you were entitled to waste 1 minute more of my time. Goodbye.
Wait.
I just excused. You may step out.
She didn't try to jump on me while we was on the road.
He's the one who came home and attacked me and got mad at me.
She didn't try to attack me at my job.
I had a new boyfriend, and my new boyfriend came to my apartment. That's why he got mad.
For all those people that thought I put my hands on her, I didn't.
A big fat man like him lied.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Clark versus Bruni. Step forward, please.
21-year-old student Elizabeth Clark is suing 21-year-old student Callie Bruni for the unpaid balance on a trip to Cancun.
I gather that you and a friend decided to take a trip to Mexico, a vacation to Mexico. Is that right?
Yes.
And you prepaid the trip, and shortly before you were supposed to leave, you got sick.
Yes.
Mono?
Yes.
Somehow there was an arrangement made with the defendant to take your place on the trip. You claim she paid you some money for the trip, but still owes you a substantial amount.
That's correct.
So when were you scheduled to leave on the trip?
March 8th.
When did you get sick?
February 14th. I was hospitalized March 1st through the 6th.
And at what point did it become non-refundable?
Not exactly sure.
Well, it becomes non-refundable. Certainly you would agree that by February 14th, when you got sick, it was non-refundable.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
So you stood to lose all of your money, right?
Yes.
Now tell me what the arrangements were with the defendant.
The arrangements were, when I was in the hospital, between my witness Shannon and Callie, that she was going to pay me money before I left.
Just a minute. So you never had a discussion with the defendant?
No, I did not.
Your witness did?
Yes, she did.
Step up. Tell me your name.
Shannon Powers.
You were supposed to go on the trip
with
Miss
Beth.
Clark.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you do? You contacted the defendant?
Yes, I did.
Okay. She was a friend of yours?
Yep.
Was she a friend of yours?
No.
Go ahead.
I kind of struggled around to find someone to go because we both stood to lose a lot of money. And the agreement...
Right, because it was non-refundable.
Yep.
Right.
The agreement between Callie and myself was she would give or send Beth a check or money for $400 and then pay her the remainder of the $574 in the summer when she started working.
Was that your agreement?
No.
Let me hear what your agreement was.
The agreement was $700. My parents gave $400. And I thought the agreement was that Shannon's parents gave $100 for me. And then that I was paying Beth
$200 in the summer. I would never agree to pay $978 when she was going to lose all her money.
How much did you receive altogether so far for this trip?
$400.
$400. And where did the other $100 come from?
From my parents, but I guess they never sent it. I was not aware of that.
Why were your parents going to send Miss Clark another $100?
Because Callie agreed to give me $500, and then she didn't have a license, and she had to get back from New York to Connecticut because she didn't have a passport, and she had to spend the money, the $100, to get back to Connecticut to get her IDs and stuff.
Okay, so you were going to give her parents back the $100?
No, my parents would only give me $400, and Beth's mom would not take the $400. She said $500.
Are you telling me that you actually gave her $500 or $400?
$400. But
all right, so you still owe her $3. Miss Clark, you never had a conversation with nor a contract with the defendant. Is that right?
Before she left, I did not have contact with her.
Right, so you had no contract with her, right?
Right.
You had no agreement with her whatsoever.
It was between them. But I had a friend who was willing to go instead of Callie before she...
I don't know that. Where's your friend who was willing to go?
I have a document.
I don't read documents. I don't read documents. I mean, you're in the hospital. You stand to lose $974. You took out no insurance to prevent you from losing all this money. I mean, I don't see anybody spending the full amount of the trip if she knows you're going to lose all of your money. That's not the way people usually operate. They usually operate, well, I'll go on short notice, but I'm not going to spend $1,000 on a trip. She didn't have $1,000. She only had $400. Aside from the fact you didn't have a contract with her.
But that was the agreement that I understood, that she was to pay me money when she got back from the trip.
Yeah.
She paid me $400 and I expected the rest. I worked 2 jobs over my winter break trying to pay for this trip. And I wouldn't have let somebody go on my trip for $700 that I worked 2 jobs for and then I paid for in full.
Next time you take a trip, you should have some insurance.
I never thought that I was going to get sick.
Absolutely. That's why people take out insurance. In any event, you had no contract with the defendant. As far as she was concerned, well, she got a little mixed up with the $100. I guess she figured your mother was going to give her $100 so that you wouldn't lose all your money and therefore you wouldn't go away on this trip alone.
Yeah.
You still owe her $300. Why haven't you paid her?
I was going to pay her the $200 because I never knew that
her mother didn't give the $100.
Yes.
All right.
So I was going to pay her the $200, and then I get in the mail that she's trying to get $530 from me.
So you gave her nothing?
Right.
Well, why didn't you give her at least what you thought you owed her?
Because I knew I had to go to court anyways.
Okay. Well, you owe her $300. Judgment for the plaintiff. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Better. Yeah, this is case number 257 on the calendar in the matter of Lamont versus Williford. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have seats, please.
Miss Lamont, according to the complaint, the defendant is your ex-boyfriend and you claim that you loaned him some money.
Yes.
The defendant says that you actually owe him money because a while ago you wrecked his car or truck. First, tell me about this truck. You were driving his truck. Under what circumstances?
I believe it was in March of 2000.
Yes.
He drove me to Sacramento to go to court there. And on our way back, I had lived in Sacramento and I received a ticket that I had to go back and pay when I had returned to LA.
Okay.
And on the way back, he asked me to drive so he could sleep. And so I drove. And on the way back, to avoid getting an accident, I swerved off the road and hit a guardrail.
And there was damage to his car?
Yeah. And he never asked me to fix it.
That's a lie. That's a lie. Man. Cold-hearted. She's lying, Your Honor. I'm
Are
just
you
trying
finished?
Yeah, I'm finished. As long as you are.
We're going to have a problem.
You take any prescribed medication, sir?
No, ma'am, I ain't on no...
Quiet. You take any prescribed medication?
No, ma'am, I ain't on no prescribed medication.
You take any other kind of medication?
No, ma'am.
Then behave yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of car was it that was in this accident?
A Ford Ranger.
What year?
99, I believe.
There came a time when you gave him some money towards having the car fixed, according to you. $1,500?
It actually, because I had wrecked the car and he had never asked me to repay him, I decided that when I got the money that I received in a settlement, that I would take it upon myself to take responsibility for the fact that I did crash his truck, and I gave him $1,500.
Okay, that's not the money that you're suing for.
No.
What money are you suing for?
At the same time that I gave him the $1,500, he also asked to borrow $2,000 because he had gotten into some trouble.
What kind of trouble? Doesn't surprise me.
You know, I don't exactly know, but...
What do you think? Tell me what you think, Miss Lamont.
He had gotten in trouble with the drug dealer.
And he needed $2,000.
Yes.
Did he tell you what would happen to him if he didn't give this drug dealer $2,000?
You know, I could only assume at that time from...
So you gave him the $2,000. That's the money that you're suing for.
That I loaned him, yes.
Now, you had a '99 automobile in the year 2000. Had you purchased it for payments or had you paid cash for it?
I paid payments, ma'am.
So if you made payments on the car, the bank requires that you have insurance.
That's correct.
And did you have the car fixed after it was in the accident?
Yes, ma'am. I have the papers right here to show that.
He didn't have insurance.
What?
He didn't have insurance.
Well,
he didn't have his license.
You weren't even driving. It ain't your car. You don't know.
Don't speak to her. Remember what I said. Mr. Williford tells me he had insurance, which he must do by law if he's got a financed car. Isn't that right, Bert?
That's absolutely right, Judge.
And I assume that if you had a financed car, they allow you to have some sort of a deductible, usually $500. Is that
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
So you had out-of-pocket expense of $500. Is
No,
that...
that's wrong.
Well, how could it be wrong, sir? That's the way insurance works.
Well, I didn't go through insurance, man, because she was an unlicensed driver, and she had made the promise to me that she was going to pay me back the damage. Here's the
That's a lie,
estimate
Your
from
Honor.
the car.
No.
She was
That's
going
what
to pay
you
me.
have insurance for, Mr. Williford.
Yeah, but then your insurance claims go up. I gotta pay more per month. It wasn't worth it. I'd rather pay the cash and get it fixed at the dealership.
Is that what you did?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. And that's what your choice was. If you asked the plaintiff to drive your car, and according to you, you knew she was an unlicensed driver, then you took that risk. And if you choose not to go through your insurance, she would certainly be liable for the $500 deductible, because that would have been your out-of-pocket expense. You chose not to do that. Now, in addition to the $1,500 that she gave you to fix the car, you said she gave you another $2,000. What do you claim that was for, Mr. Williford?
I had the $2,000 that she gave me was for fixing my car, a down payment towards the $4,800 total damage. I don't know about no $1,500. I only know about $2,000.
Your Honor, I have the return check.
May I see it, please?
It's for $3,100, and also there, in these are the statements.
Well, $2,000 and $1,500 does not add up to $3,100. Even I know that.
My money was in my mom's account. Since I had already given him $400, I was only going to give him $1,100 to total $1,500 for what I was giving him, plus the $2,000 he wanted to borrow.
I got you. So to the best of your knowledge, has Mr. Williford had any other trouble with drug dealers?
Probably. That was his lifestyle.
Even when you were together?
I had moved away to Sacramento, and in that time, 6 months period, when I came back, he was a total different person.
Different, not for the better?
No.
What kind of work do you do, Mr. Williford?
I'm a musician, ma'am.
You work regularly?
Yes, ma'am.
Where?
Different studios. I'm working on recording a demo right now.
Is there any record that you ever made that Bird might have heard of?
A record that I made that Bert might have heard of? No, ma'am, I haven't released anything yet.
So who pays you?
My corporation that I work with, people that I'm talking to.
And what kind of musician are you?
I'm a rapper, man.
Bird and I don't know about that.
Oh, man, you're missing out. You don't know, hip-hop is live.
I know. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,000.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Excuse you,
All
step
right,
out.
kid. Let's go. Everything's all good, man. I'm taking care of my life. I'm going on. It's all good.
Yeah, I needed to get the money that I helped him out with, and he needs to take responsibility for it.
Probably be a loser.
Yeah, this is case number 416 on the calendar in the matter of Houston versus Pierce. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Thank you, Bert.
You're quite welcome, Judge.
You're not involved with this case yet, perhaps as a witness. Is that right? Why don't you have a seat? Okay. And neither are you, so why don't you have a seat?
Okay.
Mr. Houston, the defendant was a friend of yours.
Yep.
You had been arrested for domestic violence, and according to your complaint, called the defendant and asked for his help. And According to you, you said to him, you can take my rifle and hold it as collateral for some money that I'm going to give you for being such a good friend.
Yep.
That's not true.
Just a second. Then you got out of jail, and he refuses to return the rifle to you, despite the fact that you offered them $100 for it.
Yep.
You want the rifle back.
Yes, ma'am.
Defendant says that the rifle was given to him as a gift.
That's right.
And in addition, he is counterclaiming for some nonsense about fluorescent light bulb.
He spent a lot of time. I spent a lot of time.
Whatever. We'll get there.
It's not nonsense, Your Honor.
Mr. Houston, when were you arrested, sir?
The first time I was arrested was August 4th, and that got dismissed and dropped to disturbing the peace.
Your Honor, he was arrested in
later in September.
Don't interrupt.
My wife and I got in another fight. The neighbors called the police. When the police showed up, they got on the computer and saw that there was a no contact order, so they arrested me. When I saw the judge for arraignment, they immediately said 2.5 years in jail and a $50,000 bond, which basically scared me to death.
That's when you got his wife for life on it.
Listen to me. If you interrupt again, it's not going to be good for your case. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good.
So at that point, I tried to make phone calls to my sister and to my wife, and I couldn't do that through the phone system in the jail. And so I was calling Paul to assist me in that situation. He had an attitude that he didn't want to be bothered with it. We were supposed to be friends. I mean, we've been friends for 7 years.
Let's get to the rifle, please.
It came up with a situation where I offered him $100 to help me out, if that's what it took to get my friend to help.
He offered me his deer rifle.
And
I am going to throw you out if you do it again. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
We proceed my way, which is I hear him, I hear you, I ask questions. If I look at you, you respond. If I don't look at you, you don't speak. You got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. So you offered him $100 to help you. That's what you're telling me.
In a sense, and I asked him if he could go pick up my items, so when I got out, I would not be able to go back home. And he acted annoyed. He didn't really want to do this, so that's when I offered him the $100 situation. I says, look, Paul, when you go pick up my stuff, you can hold my rifle for me as collateral until I pay you the $100. And then all of a sudden he was all excited about, well, okay, I'll help you out.
And then you got out of jail, and he helped you out.
Well, when I got out of jail...
No, he helped you out.
He made phone calls.
Good.
And he went and got my stuff for me, my truck.
Okay, and the rifle.
Yeah. Now, when I got out of jail, he wouldn't let me stay at his home because he had his grandparents over there. But besides that fact, my wife had moved out of the house. And so I immediately went and got a court order to allow me to move back into my own home.
Now, okay, let's get to the rifle.
He came over to my house, and he sat down and started talking, and I asked him to go get my rifle, and I give him a $100 check. And he at that time told me that he had given it to his father, which made me very off. So I asked him to leave my home immediately because I didn't want to get in trouble for any kind of domestic violence.
Okay. Now, sir, I'll hear your version of the rifle.
Okay, he was in and out of jail starting in April. I picked him up from jail every time he was there.
How many times did you pick him up?
At least 3. 2 times. I can remember. I took him out to dinner after I picked him up, gave him cigarettes when he got out of jail. He called me repeatedly, constantly, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day, whining and crying he's in jail. Please get me out of here, please get me out of here. Of course, the last time he got out of jail, I didn't give him a place to stay because my grandparents were there. That was the last time. Plus, I was fed up with it anyway. Now come to the rifle, he's crying on the phone, whining, I'm doing everything I can, bending over backwards for the guy.
He called you from jail?
Yeah, constantly. He goes, you know, for helping me out, you're such a good friend, and I don't have any money to give you, but I'll give you the rifle because I know you like it for your time and effort and just bending over backwards for me. Well, as a friend, that's great. So I took the rifle. So we went to pick up the rifle from Darla, me and my wife, and when I got the rifle, she goes, don't ever let Rhett buy this rifle back or give it to him. Because if something happens to you, it's going to be on your conscience. Next thing you know, I pick up Darla from the hospital because her arm's all bruised up and sprained.
Is that as a result of this domestic violence dispute?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Then I just decided forget it. I got the rifle out of my control, and I said, forget it. I'm not going to let him buy it back from me. I'm not going to even give it back. Because if something does happen, it is on my conscience.
Well, just 1 second. Was there any mention at the point where he said take the rifle of his wanting to buy the rifle back from you?
No, not at all.
At that point, he just said take it.
For my time and effort and everything else.
I believe you.
Okay.
Because I watched his eyes when he said to me...
I have a witness that heard the conversation.
Really?
My witness heard the conversation on the speakerphone.
I'm more than happy to hear a witness. Who's the witness?
My sister, Jade.
Tell me your name.
Jade Houston.
All right, Miss Houston. You overheard the conversation about the rifle?
My brother Hugh said, I'm giving him the rifle as collateral to give him $100 when I'm able to get back to work to get the money.
You heard him say that?
Yes, I did.
That's what he told her, but that's not what he told me.
I was on the, I was
That's
on
not
the
what he told me
phone.
and my wife. That's not what he told me. She was on a speakerphone at the
And
time
I-
he said it.
You're the wife? Yes. Step up.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Hugh Houston says after he was arrested for domestic violence, he gave former friend Paul Pierce a rifle as collateral for bail. Hugh says Paul refuses to return it.
Mrs. Houston, there came a time when the defendant came to your house when your husband was incarcerated. You evidently had a rifle in your house that belonged to your husband.
Yes.
What did Mr. Pierce say to you when he came to the house?
He said he needed to pick up the rifle and Hugh's belongings. And I was kind of scared, and I told him, you know, that he needed to keep this rifle because I was scared.
He never said to you at any time that he picked up the rifle, that it was just as collateral for other monies. Is that right?
No, he never said. He just said that he needed to pick up his gun and his tools and his truck and
his
things
truck
like
and his
that.
clothes,
Yes.
and you gave it to him.
Yes.
And how many times had Mr. Pierce come to your husband's assistance when he had been incarcerated? More than 2?
I would say 2 or 3 times, yes.
Okay, and that was going to jail, taking care of the bail bondsman, whatever had to be done, coming to your house, picking up stuff for him, that sort of stuff?
Yes.
So he was a pretty reasonable friend. Are you a fair statement?
Yes, he was.
Are you back living together now?
Yes.
How long have you been married?
Well, we're not legal.
17 years.
We're not legally married is what she was going to say. How long have you been together?
17 years.
You have children?
1.
How old?
She's 9.
She at home when these acts of domestic violence take place?
Yes.
Big mistake. Have a seat.
Okay.
Okay. Let me hear. You may be seated. Let me hear about your counterclaim, Mr. Pierce.
I gave him petty cash. I bought him dinner a couple of times. He stayed in our guest house for a little while, and my wife keeps her ferret and her cat there.
This is a shack, not a guest house.
Mr. Houston,
doesn't
I don't
matter.
want Mr. Houston. Uncross your arms and be quiet unless I'm speaking to you.
Anyway, we let him stay in the studio. But the thing is he was taking the light bulbs out for some reason, the fluorescent light bulbs, taking them out. The ferret walks out. He jumps up onto the cot, breaks the cot, and broke the light bulbs. Now, I didn't see it, but he told my wife, and my wife had to clean it up. So we're suing for the light bulbs, the cot, all the collect calls from jail, which adds up to about $120.
Well, do you have proof of the
Yes, I do.
calls from jail? I'd like to see that, please.
There's a couple calls on there I didn't get on there. Just misplaced the bill.
It's all right with you, ma'am. I'd like to see these phone numbers that he's claiming against me.
I'm going to absolutely show you, sir. All right. All I want you to do, Mr. Houston, is to take a look at these phone charges, sir. All collect calls.
I'd have to say that these calls are probably legit.
Okay, good. Fine.
Now, he did stay with us on and off, and yeah, he did get his place back after he got out of jail.
That's okay, sir. You had no rental agreement with him.
No.
Mr. Houston, I don't know whether anybody else gave you a pep talk about what happens when children witness acts of domestic
fully aware of it,
violence.
ma'am.
I'm sure that
At
they
this
have.
point right now, I do have counseling happening, and I am attending it.
Anger management program?
Yes, it is, ma'am.
And what about your child? Is it a boy or a girl?
It's my daughter.
Is she in counseling as well?
No, she's not.
She ought to be.
She's a happy child.
She's not a happy child. Happy children don't see their parents fighting and their mothers ending up in slings. Happy children, if they hear...
We had a very stressful time in our lives. My mother was dying, and our financial
I don't
situation
care.
was bad because
I
I
don't
was doing
care.
a lot of traveling back
Mr.
and
Houston, it doesn't make any difference.
I know it doesn't.
Children don't. All I'm doing is suggesting to you that if you're in counseling, I don't know if your wife is in counseling, but certainly if you want to be good parents, you make sure that your child has somebody to speak to, because that's important. She may not be able to verbalize it to you, but she's probably witnessed things that it's unfair for a child to have witnessed, and you're supposed to make sure that you are protective of her.
I totally agree with that.
Okay? And
what I don't agree with is the way you believe his story, because there's no way in a million years I'd give up my rifle.
Yes, you would. If you were in jail and you wanted out fast enough, you would.
Ma'am, it's not true. It's not true at all.
Yes, it is.
The fact of the matter, I was giving him $100 to cover the expenses of the situation.
Okay, no, you
now, I
can give
expected him to be a friend, and he really didn't want to act as one. And I offered, Paul, you can hold on to my rifle as collateral.
Can I ask
and that's
you a
what it
question?
became,
Can I ask you a
collateral.
question, sir? What acts of friendship have you done for Mr. Pierce?
The reason what have I done for him?
Yeah, I would like to.
This is a guy who came over to our house for holiday dinners. This is a guy I offered my garage for him to fix his car. Well, when I asked him not to put oil all over my driveway, and he spilled oil all over the entire garage. And they smeared it all over the place. This is a man that has no integrity about anything whatsoever.
No, you're not answering my question, Mr. Houston. My question to you, sir, is what have you done in the framework of your friendship for Mr. Pierce?
He calls me periodically, lots of times, to talk about his son. He has a custody situation with his son.
So he
asks
calls
me
you
for
for
advice and guidance towards that situation.
I would never want.
He just recently. He had to rebuild the Toyota engine in his engine in his Toyota truck. I came over here about 3 days in a row and helped him with that. I'm a helpful guy. I go out of my way to help people when they need help.
It doesn't
I'm not
compare,
one to sit
it
there
doesn't
and
compare, Mr. Houston, to the aggravation that your incarcerations caused him. Doesn't compare. Having him over for dinner is not it. And I can, quite frankly, Mr. Houston, envision the conversation of, you like the rifle, take it.
No,
and
ma'am,
you
it's
shouldn't have
not
the
the way
rifle
it
in your
went
possession
down.
anyway, so you're not getting the rifle back, and in addition, you're going to pay him for the phone calls that you made collect to his house in the amount of $160. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He's a piece of garbage. I want my rifle back.
It's just slime bags like that, that take advantage of everybody.
You should have called him and said, do you have my money? If not, I'm going to get rid of the gun.
Darla needs to get out of that relationship. He constantly beat her for the last 10 or 15 years.
To carry things by yourself and don't trust a soul.
Yeah, this is case number 455, sorry. In the matter of Jenkins versus Moon. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mr. Jenkins, the defendant is your former girlfriend.
Former acquaintance.
Did you date?
No, not really. I mean, we just basically just seen each other, spent some time together.
And it is your claim that she not only assaulted you in your home, but also purposely vandalized your car.
Yes, Your Honor.
When did this happen, sir?
It started the night of January 14th, and ended up on the morning of January 15th.
And where did it start on the 14th?
I came to pick up Miss Moon from her for her place of residence at her friend's house. She had basically presented me this letter, basically stating her demeanor and her well-being.
What? I don't understand that. Let me see the letter.
Okay, here you go.
You went to pick her up at the place where she was living?
Yes, Your Honor.
What time?
It was about 8 o'clock, Your Honor.
Were you going out that evening?
No, she was basically just coming over to my apartment.
For what?
Probably just to spend some time.
And you would receive this letter before?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, clearly, Miss Moon thought that the relationship was more than just being an acquaintance.
Sure, Your Honor.
So after you read the letter, in which she tells you that she loves you,
sure,
and that you hurt her feelings, and that you don't love her back, and that you're not careful with her feelings, then you were taking her back to your house to hang out.
We had basically were discussing some confrontations of the letter.
You were discussing what?
The letter. And basically of my feelings towards her.
What did you tell her your feelings were?
I do not take love for granted, and I was not going to tell Miss Moon that I loved her when I did not do so, and I was not going to string her along like that.
So what'd you take her back to your house for?
To spend some time.
And what happened when you got to your house?
Basically, we had continued to discuss some more things. She had basically told me that she had a present for me. She let me open up the present. I seen what the present was.
What was it?
A tape.
A tape, okay.
A videotape, Your Honor.
Okay.
Seen the videotape, and pretty much I knew where she was coming from once I seen the actual videotape.
So I assume it was a sexually explicit videotape from the way you're avoiding the subject.
I guess that would be a good assumption, Your Honor.
Okay.
I mean, I try to avoid that, but...
Did you watch the tape with her?
Yes, Your Honor.
And after you watched the tape with her, what happened?
We had...
Look at me when you're talking.
Yes, Your Honor. We had actually became a little bit intimate, but it got to the point to where she was more like, no. Okay, well, why? What's going on? And she had priorly told me about how she had went to go take a pregnancy test that she was happy about, so to say, that she wasn't pregnant. I had seemed very relieved, but then she got upset again. It was more like, well, why are you so relieved? And I'm like, well...
And this was the discussion you had on the 14th?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now let's move it along to when you say she attacked you.
The discussion got to us where she left the bedroom, and I followed her out of the bedroom. She continuously was loud, disruptful, yelling, cursing at me. I'd asked her to stop many a times. So we got to the point to where I had asked Miss Moon to leave. I basically was fed up of her actually being very disrespectful. Miss Moon actually taking her time as to where she wanted to leave my apartment. I had basically started removing her things onto my front porch.
So she said she didn't want to have sex with you, so you were throwing her things out the door.
No,
Is that?
That's not true, Your Honor.
Well, that sounds, I mean, when you cut through all the baloney that you're giving me, sir, you followed her out of the bedroom, right? Because she's
Sure, Your
still
Honor.
saying no. After you watch this video and everybody's all charged up and their juices are all flowing, at least yours were, she's arguing, you don't love me, I love you, you don't give back, take your stuff and get out. You gathered up her stuff and you threw them out the front porch.
That's not true, Your Honor. I asked her to leave my apartment because she was cursing at me, yelling at me, screaming at me, and also banging things on
There
my
had to
floor.
be something happened in between, sir. If she said no, 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 I changed my mind. You must have said something. You said, how come you changed your mind?
Something along the lines is where, why? What's going on? Why are you acting so different? And then she started telling me more things about how she had a discussion with her friends, how she basically had felt that I had never felt for her.
Well, yeah,
seriously, anyway.
she was clearly right because you described your relationship with her as one of an acquaintance.
True.
An acquaintance is somebody, you know, you go in, you meet at a butcher. You say, hello, how are you? How's your family? That's an acquaintance. That's not a friend. Someone who is just an acquaintance isn't somebody that you worried that maybe the pregnancy test, the rabbit died. That's not an acquaintance.
It was a little more than an acquaintance.
Ah, okay.
Just a little more.
Let's get to the assault, sir.
Miss Moon had finally agreed to actually leave the apartment. And she basically, on my front porch, and she had basically let me know and indicated to me that she had left her glasses in my apartment. I said, well, here, just wait here. I'll go get your glasses. I said, I'm not going to do anything to your glasses. Miss Moon didn't want to hear that. She basically wanted to come into the apartment. And from then on, I had stopped her. And she had continuously brushed past me for the second time. Once she had brushed past me for the second time, it was the points to where I was basically holding her off with my forearm, like so. By doing that, she came past my elbow. This is the weaker part, whatever, and that's where she got to the points to where her head was down, and she had bit me right here on my chest and my shoulder area. Once she had done so, and she was not letting go, it was clear that she was not going to let go. I had needed to get her off somehow. So the best way I knew how at that point was to actually put my hand around her neck. I didn't necessarily choke her, but at this point I held her tight enough to where she actually let go. And once she actually let go, I threw her off of me, and she was basically on the front porch. Once she was on the front porch, she called me some obscenities, whatever, and basically he had let me know, well, I'm pregnant anyway, so I hope, you take that, whatever. Stood there, watched her as she walked down the stairs, as while she's yelling and shouting, whatnot, obscenities. Watched her actually break my cologne bottles, which I have here, that she broke over my car. I have a picture of my car. And she basically was kind of like provoking me to come out there and kind of like do something about what she had actually done to my car.
Was she downstairs already when she threw the bottles at your car?
Yes, Your Honor.
How many bottles did she throw at your car?
2.
Okay, let me see the damage to the car.
It's not necessarily the best of pictures, Your Honor, but however, I can't point
They're
out.
all you got.
I also went to go get estimates of how much it would actually cost to get my car repaired. Here's are the estimates. And these are the bite marks for that night.
Okay, and according to your complaint, you went and were treated the next day at the hospital or an emergency
Yes, Your Honor. I was treated at Mount Carmel East in Columbus, Ohio. And these are my medical bills.
All right, Miss Moon, let's hear it.
Okay, he was supposed to come get me at 8 o'clock. The reason I wrote that letter is because he told me I will be there at 8 o'clock, and he didn't show up till midnight. So I wrote the letter because I was sick of it, you know what I mean? And we sat and we had a discussion at my place until we didn't leave until 1 o'clock. We got to his apartment. We started to watch the movie, but his VCR doesn't have any tracking, and we couldn't watch the movie. And I had to go to work the next day at 10 o'clock. He was supposed to take me, and I told him, I'm ready to go to bed. I just want to go to sleep. And he started asking me why, and I said, because I don't feel like it. So automatically that means I'm sleeping with somebody else. I became all these and everything else.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
I wasn't having it.
Did you see how quiet she was?
She was, I mean, if I can't sit there.
Did you see how quiet she was when you were testifying?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's how quiet I want you to be.
But I wasn't lying to her, though.
Just a second. What word that I said didn't you understand?
I understand clearly now, Your Honor.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Brian Jenkins says after an argument with former friend Tia Moon, she assaulted him and vandalized his car. Tia says Brian tried to strangle her, so she bit him.
And so I asked him to take me home, and he refused. I asked him about 3 or 4 times, just take me home, please, just take me home. He wouldn't take me home. And I started to get my stuff. He started taking it and throwing it. And I did forget my glasses, and I went back to get it, and he grabbed me around here, and I bit him, and he started strangling me. He was grabbing my neck.
That's also a lie, Your Honor.
What word didn't you understand when I said, when she's testifying, unless I'm looking at you and asking you a question, don't speak?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so he was having me around my neck. He wasn't really...
Why did he put his hands on your neck?
I guess he didn't want me to go back into the apartment. He didn't...
Well, did he tell you not to go back into the apartment?
He said, hold on, and I was like, I'll get him, and he just grabbed me, and I was like, all right, you know, and then...
So he grabbed you?
Yeah.
And you bit him?
Yeah.
Hard?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
And I threw his cologne. When he was throwing my stuff out, I was like, all right, so I threw his stuff out. You know what I mean? I didn't care.
Now, he threw your stuff out after you had bitten him?
No, before. And so I didn't throw the cologne at his car. I just threw it, and it landed in the grass. And after he started strangling me, he threw me onto the porch, and I gathered my stuff up, and I was leaving. And he started saying something to me, and I had the cologne, another bottle, and I just tossed it, and it hit his car. And I kept on walking, and I was halfway down the street to go to the payphone to call my friend to come pick me up, and he gets in his car, and he drives, and he tries to get me to come in the car. But the whole time he was strangling me, he was telling me, you know, I could kill you right now. What do I look like getting in the car with somebody that just said they were going to try and kill me? So I told him, no, just leave me alone. I'll walk, I'll find another ride. And he continued to just follow me. He came behind me, and he grabbed my book bag with my work clothes in it, and he grabbed my jacket.
Stop playing with that paper.
I'm sorry. And he grabbed my glasses off my face, and I kept walking, and he did this for like an hour. All I wanted was for him to let me alone so I can call my friend and go home. He wouldn't leave me alone. He picked me up and he threw me in his car, and I got out and I kept running because I was scared. I was crying. I thought he was going to kill me. He told me he was going to kill me.
He didn't tell you he was going to kill you when
Yes.
he was... No, listen to me! He didn't say to you as he was following you to try to put you in the car to drive you home that he was going to kill you.
No, but when he was strangling me.
Right. You know, don't embellish this story. Do we understand each other? To make a long story short, you finally got in the car, he drove you home, and he dropped you off.
Yeah.
All right. There was at least some modicum of concern about your safety at that hour in the morning, walking around by yourself, because that's why he got in the car to take you home, even after you bit him, and even after you damaged his car, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
Okay. Mr. Jenkins.
Yes, Ron.
You're a cad, but not a total louse. Here you have a situation where you have a young lady who is clearly more infatuated with you than you are with her. That's what you said, because you described her to me as an acquaintance. And clearly, she poured her heart out to you in this letter that you read before you took her back to your house. So someone who was a decent person would say to themselves, look, I really don't care about this lady the same way she cares about me. And I don't want to lead her on anymore, because clearly she's lonely, she's vulnerable, so I don't want to lead her on anymore, and I'm just going to end it. But you decided, well, as long as we both have nothing to do, we'll go back to my house. So you went back to your house, and with this acquaintance, you were going to have a sexual encounter, one that you had had before, something that really a decent person doesn't do to somebody who's vulnerable. Better off just cutting it off and saying, well, it's not going to work out. I don't feel the same way that you do. So you're a cad, but you're not a total louse, because you didn't want her to walk home alone. It's in the middle of the night, so you even after the attack on you and your car. I don't know what you found more devastating, the attack on you or your car. Usually guys find the attacks on their cars more devastating than the attacks on themselves. You did, in fact, get into your car and say, let me take you home. You got it?
I do understand, Your Honor.
You bid him. That's a no-no. I don't believe that you bid him in order to have him release his stronghold on you. I think that you got very angry that night, and I think you probably had reason, but you weren't acting like a smart lady. If you sense from somebody that they're really not interested in you, what you're supposed to do is cut your losses and move on. Cut your losses, move on, find somebody else that wants to be as good to you as you want to be to them. Do you understand?
Yes.
Fine.
Can I also have something else, Your Honor?
I would love to hear something else. Make sure I'm going to like it.
Okay.
Because so far you're winning.
I basically did want to say that I do have a permanent mark here because of the actual bite wound.
Maybe it'll teach you to be more careful with somebody's feelings. Mr. Jenkins. Got it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good. Car is $763 to fix. Your emergency room was $446. So your total bills were $1,209. However, I do believe that you have to be compensated for the pain and suffering. A bite mark is dangerous. And I am awarding you $2,000 on your judgment, which is some $800 more than the actual damages that you sustained. Have you both moved on with your lives, I assume?
Yes, Your Honor.
Perfect. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I was actually pretty upfront and honest. That's the type of person that I am.
I'm only 19. I got other things to do with my life.
If you see a female is getting more like out of line, whatever, just go ahead and handle the situation.
I'm just happy that it's over.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Sharp versus Brennan. Step forward, please.
Food server Doris Sharp is suing her former live-in boyfriend, 39-year-old electrician John Brennan, for breaking a lease. John says Doris ran him out.
Ms. Sharp, according to your complaint, you and the defendant were in a long-term relationship. You lived together for many years, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Off and on.
And recently you signed a lease on a new apartment. You both signed on the apartment. It was a year lease. The defendant left after a couple of months, and you want him to pay for his half of the lease for the remainder of the lease. The defendant says that it was either leaving or killing each other. Aside from that, he left you with everything that you had acquired during the course of this long relationship. When did you sign a lease on this apartment?
This is the third year we had signed.
And what was the rent on the apartment?
$540 a month.
And when did he leave?
In June.
Had you been having difficulty before he left?
Well, he couldn't get out. He was on house arrest, so he couldn't go out and do anything. So as soon as he got off of house arrest, which was in June, I said, you know, ever since you're off of house arrest, I never see you anymore. And he says, honey, you ain't seen nothing yet. And I never seen no money since then.
I asked you before he moved out in June. Had you been having trouble?
No.
What was he on house arrest for?
Violation of probation.
What kind of probation?
It was a drug-related charge.
Had he spent any time in jail?
Yes, he did.
How long, sir?
I did 7 months out of work release.
Tell me why you claim you left, Mr. Brennan.
Well, the relationship was just, it was getting over. It was over, and it was a point of just getting out before a bad situation got worse. I mean, it was over, and one of us had to go, so...
So why did you sign this lease in June?
I don't think the lease was signed in June.
It's right here. Let me see, Bird. It's right there. Thank you.
I thought it was in April. But...
It was in April. You are correct, sir. All right. How large an apartment is it?
It's a one-bedroom, it's a little less than 800 square foot.
Okay. Do you work, Ms. Sharp?
Yes, I do.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm the server at Ryan's Steakhouse.
And how much do you earn a year?
$15,000 a year.
Do you have family in the area where you're living?
I have my daughter.
What do you plan to do when this lease is up?
Well, Your Honor, I wouldn't have been in a big bind. But when I came home, I spent $1,000 on my vacation, and he knew it. I've always went and seen my parents. It was my money I worked hard for, and I planned on paying it off. But then he's gone, and I'm missing $270 plus half the electric. And
I asked you a question, Ms. Sharp.
Okay.
What do you plan to do after your lease?
Try to look for a smaller apartment.
How can you find a smaller apartment? Do you have a one-bedroom apartment?
They have them. They have smaller bedrooms where you can get off the lake. It's cheaper.
How much cheaper?
$100.
Okay. So you could move into an apartment that would cost you $100 less a month that you plan looking into, right?
Yes.
But you plan on staying there.
Yes, I'm staying there right now because it's too hard for me to move right now.
Listen, so you have to live someplace, Miss Sharp.
Yes, that's why I'm there.
Of course, you have to live someplace. Now, if you said to me that you took a 2-bedroom apartment because you needed lots of room, I would say to you, well, it's possible that you could look for a roommate, to help you with your expenses. You want to say something?
Yes, I do.
Who are you?
I'm her daughter.
Well, you step up. I'm going to
Thank
hear you
Your
briefly.
Honor.
It better be relevant.
It will be. She wants to move to a lesser apartment. She can afford $400 a month. The smaller apartments at Carlton Arms, Your Honor,
She
are
just told me.
efficiencies. She's nervous, and that's all. They're just not available, and it would cost her more to move, Your Honor.
I need a $1,000 deposit someplace. I can't come up with that kind of money right
Sit
now.
down.
Yes, ma'am.
He's got the key to the apartment, too. He can come and go when he wants.
Just to say, he's not coming and going anywhere. He can always change the locks on the apartment.
No, I already asked that. I asked if I could change the locks on the
Where's the
apartment.
key?
And they
It's in my
said,
jacket pocket.
He'll turn it over to
I will.
Listen to me.
Yes.
Just relax yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
I mean, these people
I
are
just
together
wanted to say
for
one more thing. That's
no,
all.
you don't have to say anything else.
Okay. Yes.
I want to know, Miss Sharp, over the years that you were together, Mr. Brennan says that he and you together furnished your apartment. Is that true?
yes, Your Honor, it was so good. It cost $50. All 4 chairs you could rock on like a rocking chair. And
Let me ask you a question. Do you have a television set?
Yes, I do.
What kind of television set do you have?
I got a 13-inch in the kitchen and another one in the living room.
Okay. And you bought that when you were together?
Yes, but he bought the stereo, so he took the stereo, which was the same price as the TV.
Is that right, sir?
Yes.
Well, then what furniture and household items do you say that you paid for jointly with Miss Sharp?
Everything.
Well, let me hear. Give me an
Well, I
example.
mean, there was a full kitchen. I mean, you name it. I mean, just dishes, silverware, just everything that you would find in a house.
Okay. So dishes, silverware, everything that
juicers, blenders, toaster ovens, I mean, everything that you'd have in a house. I only took my personal stuff and the stereo. That's all I took.
Okay. What about the living room furniture?
I didn't take any of it.
I'm asking you, did you buy it together?
Yes.
I went and got it while he was in jail for $25 at the Goodwill. The whole house is furnished with Goodwill furniture. Everything.
Is that right, sir?
I don't know where she got it.
Yes. The
Well,
couch
you
cost
don't know what
She's talking about a
$25.
couch. I don't,
Have bedroom furniture.
We're
Where did you
going
get
back
the
6
Bedroom
years.
furniture. I paid $70 for it from a friend. $70 for the whole thing.
Mr. Brennan, how much do you claim you spent over all the stuff that's in the house?
I wouldn't have an idea. To replace it, I don't know.
And the only thing that you took out of the house was the stereo.
It was mine, yes.
What do you mean, which was yours?
Well, I bought that, and we bought her a television, a 27-inch television that I left there.
So you bought that together. And you bought the stereo with joint
Yes.
money. So that's,
Yes.
that's sort of an even swap.
Correct, yes.
Well, then I'm talking about the other stuff, Mr. Brennan. One of the things that you said that was appealing to me, quite frankly, is that you walked out of the house carrying your suitcase with your underwear in it, and you left her everything else in the house that you had accumulated over the 6 years that you were together. I just want some idea of what the value of that stuff was.
I can tell you the value. Probably everything, $200.
No, I don't believe that's true, Miss Sharp.
The chairs you rock in, you can
Miss
rock
Sharp,
away
Miss
on
Sharp,
them.
pay careful attention to me, madam. You have to buy sheets, you have to buy towels, you buy dishes, you buy
There's
silverware,
Goodwill.
you buy...
Buy
Well,
everything at Goodwill.
It's
true.
Yeah.
I'm a Goodwill shopper.
Oh, good. Put your hand down, madam. I'm not interested in what you have to say.
Yes, Your Honor. I
Perfect.
apologize.
Mr. Brennan, you have to make some accommodation to Miss Sharp with regard to this lease that she's on, but she has to do whatever she can to sort of limit your responsibility. I don't believe two people should live together, especially if they're not married, when there's at least a possibility that there would be violence in the household should you remain together. Miss Sharp, you're going to have the luxury of living in a larger one-bedroom apartment for the next year at the same price as it would cost you to live in the smaller one-bedroom apartment that you say is not now available, but if it were available, you would move into. That means that Mr. Brennan is going to support this current apartment to the tune of $100 a month for the 12 months of the lease, or $1,200. Do you understand? Not the $3,240 that you're looking for, because you're going to stay there anyway, albeit perhaps in a smaller apartment. I'm not giving you any credit, Mr. Brennan, for the items that you left. First of all, there's not a counterclaim. You can't account for exactly how much money that was. Otherwise, in a living together situation, I would say, listen, you have bills, you have receipts for what you left. I will look at that. I'll cut it in half if you both contributed and deduct that from the $1,200.
I wasn't looking for that. I just wanted this to be over with.
Good. Now it's over with. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of
Thank you.
$1,200. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Harvey versus Hyatt. Step forward, please.
Student Tammy Harvey is suing her ex-boyfriend, mechanic Glenn Hyatt, for the cost of breast reconstruction surgery. Glenn says Tammy's surgery is not his responsibility.
Miss Harvey, the defendant is a former boyfriend of yours, and it is your claim that he promised to pay for some repair work on breast implants that you had while you were together. You've since broken up, and he refuses to pay for this reconstructive kind of surgery, which you have not yet had. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Were you living together?
At one point.
When?
From March till December of the past year.
And you had breast augmentation surgery previously, is that
Yes.
right? When? How old were you?
27.
Okay. So when you were 27, you had breast augmentation surgery for the first time. Did you ever have any subsequent surgery?
Yes, I had problems.
What kind of problems did you have?
With the first set, I had hardening, which they took them out and put saline and silicone in, where they would enhance them gradually so it wouldn't build up the scar tissue.
And how
then
old were you when that happened?
All of this happened within 5 years. I had like 5 surgeries.
5?
Mm-hmm.
When you were 27, you had the first surgery. When did you have the next one?
Like the year after that.
Why?
After the hardening, they wanted to take out the bulbs that they used to put the saline in. And when he took the bulbs out, he wanted to just put in a new fresh set with the upgraded implants.
So that's when you were 28.
Right.
When did you have the next surgery?
It was a couple of weeks after that I developed a staph infection, and they removed the right breast implant, and then I went a year without an implant.
Without?
Right.
Miss Harvey, you went and had the implants put in again.
I had to because the skin had stretched so much. The doctor said it wouldn't look normal if he hadn't put another implant in there to replace the...
So then you were 29?
Correct.
So now I have 4 surgeries. When was the 5th?
The year after that, after the staph infection, he put new saline implants in, and then they were fine for the next 8 years.
What happened 8 years later? So at that point, you're about 38.
Right. I started dating the defendant, and I was having some problems. They were hurting. We massaged them together, Glenn and I, and in an intimate moment, the right one, it ruptured. And it took some time before the saline came down. But over time, you know, it was obvious, and it made a real impression on my self-esteem and everything. And the defendant and I were engaged to be married, and we were getting his finances in order so we could be married. So I was taking care of the majority of the bills and helping him. And when it came time for me to have my surgery, because last summer we couldn't enjoy going to the pool and everything like that, that's when he took me to the doctor. I had 2 consultations, and the surgeries were between $6,400 and $6,700. At that time, the defendant did a quick app financing the surgery, but it was denied. And now, you know, I wanted to get this taken care of because it is noticeable, and I have pain because scar tissue builds up around the implant where it is because it's flat now, it's not smooth, and I have a lot of pain, and psychologically it's just hurting me, and he's backed away from his commitment to me.
Well, I didn't hear about a commitment.
We've talked over the 2 years about taking care of it.
As a couple?
As a couple.
When you were sharing expenses?
Correct.
Okay. You want to say anything, Mr. Hyde?
I just deny you responsibility for ever saying that I would pay for her surgery, and I had nothing to do with it, with her implant rupturing.
I have a quick app that he said he would pay for it, and I have the doctor's with a picture.
Okay, go ahead.
I filled out that application to help her get the money, you know, for financing her surgery. That's the only reason that I did it. It wasn't to say that I would pay for it.
I think that there is some truth somewhere in the middle of your 2 statements, and that is that it was contemplated that as a couple, since you were going to be pooling your money at some point if you got married, this would be a joint debt because you were filling out the credit application if you couldn't get credit, and you were going to be a couple and move on, and this was just going to be one of the things that you had to pay off. Would that be a fair statement?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay, so that's somewhere in the middle of he promised to pay for it and I didn't promise to pay for it. It was going to be a family debt. But you're no longer a family, Miss Harvey. That's your problem. There has to be a reason.
I put most of our debts for the past 2 years on my credit cards to help him get out of debt in the promise that we would be married. And I did have a promise he would pay for it. He's not telling the truth. He said he would pay for the surgery.
Oh, I think that it was a family obligation. That when you were together, you put the majority of your money to use paying off debt. That was a nice thing. However, that does not create a promise that he would take care of this for you. I have just a couple of questions, Mr. Height. How much do you think she paid off in debt for you over the short time that you were together?
I don't recall her ever paying anything off for me. We took some trips and went to eat and things like that on her credit card. But as far as her taking money and paying any of my financial responsibilities, monthly debts and bills, that never happened.
So what you're saying is that she relieved you of certain stress by paying for your entertainment and your vacations and some living expenses.
He lived free.
Did you pay rent when you were living together?
I did not pay rent. I paid the utilities.
Not always. I paid 7 out of 5 times for the utilities.
I mean, you paid 5 times out of 7 months.
No, he was
Can't
more...
pay 7 out of 5. That math doesn't work. Miss Harvey,
yes.
The romance is over. It's sad that it's over. And I'm not going to give you any medical advice because I'm not a doctor, but it seems to me a substantial part of your late 20s, early 30s, and now beyond are involved in recuperating from surgery. Maybe you should just say, this was not meant to be.
The doctor said that I would have to have the surgery, and the implants needed to come out because of chance of infection, and that
Do you have medical insurance?
No, I don't. They won't cover it because it's cosmetic.
Well, this isn't cosmetic if the doctor says it has to come out. For medical reasons, that chance of infection, then that's not a cosmetic reason.
They both
Ms.
denied
Hart.
my insurance.
Well, then I would appeal it, because if what you're saying to me is that you have medical proof that this is dangerous to your health, then your insurance should pay for it. They may not pay for the reconstructive part, but they certainly should pay for removing them. In any event, I find that no promise existed, no contract existed between the plaintiff and the defendant for him to assume the full responsibility of your surgery. And unfortunately, Ms. Harvey, I think you're going to have to assume the responsibility of this surgery yourself. Case is dismissed, that's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Yeah, it's this case.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Martin versus Moss. Step forward, please.
Nanny Gail Martin is suing her former employer, day spa owner Kimberly Moss, for non-payment of services rendered. Kimberly says Gail abused her 10-year-old daughter, Lauren.
Miss Martin, you answered an ad in the paper for child care and light housework that the defendant had placed in the paper. It is your claim that you worked there and you were not fully paid before she let you go.
That's correct.
Okay. The defendant says you were, in fact, fully paid. Are these the 2 children she was supposed to take care of?
Yes, Your Honor.
When did you answer the ad and when did you start working?
I answered the ad the first day I noticed it was in there, and there were 3 children, 2 girls and 1 boy. And I started to work on, the first week was October the 10th, and the second week was October the 15th.
Okay, what was the pay arrangement?
She told me, I told her what I got at my last job, and she said I paid $10 an hour. And after the first week, which was the Friday, but I had to come back Saturday, she only paid me the $300 from the first 3 days.
Well, whatever it was,
it wasn't enough because I had worked that first week.
The first week, how many days did you work?
4 days.
Is that correct?
I really don't remember.
Well, if you don't remember, then I have to rely on her. And the second week you worked, how many days did you work?
I worked Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. 3
And
days.
how much were you paid during that 2-week period? Yes, you were.
The whole time I worked there, she paid me $300.
Okay. How much did you pay her?
When she first came to my employment, we agreed that she would get $100 a day. And
Really, not $10 an hour?
No.
$100 a day, irrespective of how many hours she worked?
Right.
First week she worked 4 days, and you gave her how much?
Whatever it was,
She said you only gave her $300.
Well, that's not accurate. Whatever I owed her is what I paid her.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Nanny Gail Martin says former employer Kimberly Moss owes for babysitting fees. Kimberly says Gail threw her 10-year-old daughter in the shower with her clothes on.
So, what happened the second week?
The second week, she was paid up. On the last day, her car broke down. She asked if she could stay with us overnight for a couple days because she didn't have transportation to and from work. And I said that would be fine until she got her car fixed. The first morning of the night that she stayed over, there was a problem. And what happened was I was in bed. My daughter Chelsea came running to me to wake me up, telling me that Gail had put Lauren, my baby, into the hot shower with her nightgown on. So I got up and ran into her bedroom, and there she was crying, cuddled up in the corner in the hot shower. So I got in the shower with her in my nightgown and blocked the hot water from her and adjusted the temperature, and to try to reduce the trauma of what had already occurred, took a shower with her, got her out, we all got ready for school, took her to school. That is why my secretary drove her home, because if I was to confront her about it, it would have turned out ugly. So I had my secretary relieve her from, that was the last day.
Did you put the child in the shower?
No, ma'am. I would never do that to a child under any circumstances. Never. And if this did happen, how come she didn't call HRS? That's what I'd like to know. When she told me she didn't have the money.
Was in the shower?
The baby, Lauren, was.
Lauren? Come up here. Tell me about the shower.
I was in bed and I didn't want to get up because I didn't feel good, and then she picked me.
You mean get up to go to school?
Yeah. And she picked me up out of the bed and put me in the shower, and she turned the hot water on with my nightgown on.
No question in your mind about that?
Mm-mm.
Where was your sister?
She was in bed with me.
Had that ever happened before?
No.
Okay, go sit down. All right. Ms. Moss, the plaintiff worked for you for 3 days, the second week.
Correct.
Did you pay her?
I do not remember the exact amount of time that she was under our employment.
Fine. Then I have to rely on her records for those days.
That's fine.
That she was. Now, at that point, did you fire her?
That day, absolutely.
That day, she was let go?
Absolutely.
Okay. You say not. Is that right?
No. She explained to me she was going to go to Daytona Beach with her boyfriend, and that her business that she just opened, her Kimberly's Day Spa, they do facials,
whatever.
And massages.
You were told that your services were no longer necessary.
Yes, because her business hadn't taken off like she expected it to, and that she couldn't afford it. This child that's wearing that nice little Sunday school outfit, that's not what they wore when I worked there. They dressed shamelessly.
What do you mean shamelessly?
They dressed in little Daisy Dukes with half their butt poking out the bottom, and little things with their belly buttons showing, and trying to go to school like that. And makeup, and they were hellions.
And what about
They were 9 and 11 going on 17.
Go ahead.
I came back on the Monday to collect some money that she owed me from that previous week. Her oldest son was changing the locks on her house door. And I said, well, what happened? He says, don't expect to find any money here. We had a break-in. Our safe was broken into, but I didn't see any black powder anywhere. So he said, we don't have any money to pay you. So why would she have to do that if she paid me the week before?
Okay.
Now.
Okay.
Ergo.
Okay. You work there according to your records, and since she doesn't have any records of her own, which she should have, a total of 7 days. I am crediting her testimony that your agreement was $100 a day, and that she paid you, according to your records, which I am crediting, $300, which means she owes you $400, and I'm issuing a judgment for the plaintiff in that amount. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
The next case.
All parties in the matter of Hill versus Pito. Step forward, please.
Food clerk Lori Hill is suing her ex-husband, maintenance technician Dennis Pito, for the return of child support. Dennis says Lori still owes him for an unpaid medical bill.
Ms. Hill, you and the defendant have 2 children together, 2 daughters.
That's correct.
And according to your complaint, both of the girls were living with the defendant. Was that by court order?
Yes.
How long had the children been living with the defendant?
About 8 years.
And how old are they?
15 and 12.
What are their names? 15-year-old.
Teresa and Amy.
You were ordered to pay child support to the defendant for the 2 girls.
That's correct.
According to your complaint, there came a time when one of the girls came to live with you, and there was an agreement that since there is sometimes a lag in the accounting through the court, that any money that you paid after your older daughter Teresa came to live with you would be returned to you. It is your claim that Mr. Pito owes you $303. Mr. Pito says that you actually, despite the fact he doesn't have a counterclaim, owe him for a medical bill for one of the girls. Is that right, sir?
Yes.
Okay. The children had been living with Mr. Pito for 8 years. Did you have visitation with the girls?
Yes.
And under what circumstances did Teresa come to live with you?
I had a lady from Protective Services show up at my door. There had been a conflict at their home, and I was under the impression Teresa was hit, and that's why she came to stay with me.
What was the amount of the support that you were paying for the 2 girls?
$102 weekly.
How long had you been paying child support?
For the whole time that he
For
had
the whole
8
8
years,
years.
yes.
Did you have a discussion with Mr. Pito with regard to the child support when Teresa came to live with you?
Yes, when he dropped her stuff off at my home, he had this paper for us to sign.
May I see it, please? Thank you. Okay. You say you'll waive the $104 in child support. That means that each of you was going to take care of 1 child, and there would be no support paid by either one. Is that right?
That's right.
And that is dated 12/4/01. Was any money taken out of your check after the 4th of December?
Yes, I have all my...
Is that the $303?
Yes.
Do you acknowledge, Mr. Pito, and let's not get to the medical yet, that the plaintiff paid child support beyond whatever these debts are of $303 that you received after December 4th?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay. Now tell me why you think that you shouldn't have to give that back to her.
Well, Your Honor, when I made that agreement with her, after that, I realized there were still pending medical bills from when Amy had her asthma attack on September 2000, and there was a $1,700 bill. And at that time, she was still required to pay 36% of that $1,700. And after talking to the medical staff that was billing me, she told me that most of it might be taken care of, but at the very least, there's still going to be a $212 balance.
What do you mean most of it was going to be taken care of? What does that mean?
Well, because between her insurance and my insurance, they're trying to see who's the primary and who's the secondary. And before that's settled, and when I have to pay the bill, I want to make sure that she doesn't have any more outstanding bills.
So what you're saying is you signed this document, and afterwards you realized that there may be some money owing for a 2-year-old medical bill because the insurance hasn't been sorted out yet. Is that right?
That's right.
Mr. Pito, when you get your act together with regard to how much money you think Ms. Hill owes you, and all the insurance claims have been submitted and ultimately resolved, you have the ability to go in and file a claim against her if she still owes you any money. In the meantime, you have to return the $303 that you accepted from her after you signed this document indicating that you would not be taking any money from her. She would not be asking you for any money. You were both going to assume full financial responsibility for each of the girls that were in your custody. Okay? Now, that's easy. Do you see your daughter, Teresa?
No, Your Honor.
Why not?
Well, she lived on bad terms, and until she gets her act together, Your Honor, I don't want her in my house because she's a danger.
She's 15 years old. How's she behaving in your house?
She's a handful.
She's a handful?
Yes, she is.
I've got a feeling that you got the easier end of the bargain at this point. Is that right?
Your Honor, I've had custody for those girls for 8 years, and the reason for me having custody, because she attempted suicide in front of my children.
No, don't go back 8 years. Right now, you have a 15-year-old daughter who had been with you for 8 years.
Oh,